Yes, I see you. Ricky. Wish I see you. How can I not see you? You're right here. Oopsies. Stay down. That's fine. All right. So, Joe, what's happening, brother? Welcome. Can you hear me okay? You guys tell me if you can't hear me okay. So, is the sound still crackling? They finally did an update. How's the sound? You got good sound or bad sound? I'm going to check right now. So, what's up, Eric? Brian, what's going on, brother? You guys, good evening. Welcome. What is happening? Oh, it's going absolutely amazing. So good. Slight bit of crackling still. Man, that's terrible. I wish I knew what was doing that. But I don't know if you noticed it. Yeah, it could be my voice, but I don't know if you noticed it, but it was not just me the other night on the round table. I was watching that and everybody was crackling on there. So it has to be something to do with YouTube. Has to be. I can go get my headphones on. I actually bought a mic for this, and then turns out the mic is only USB-C, not um Lightning, which is what I need. So I guess I'm just gonna send it back and get a different one. Pain in the butt though. I didn't see that it wasn't Lightning. I typed in specifically for iPhone, and then this is what you get. And announcing, good, good, good. Maybe they fixed it then. Amazing. And sometimes when it first starts, it's a little popping and crackling. So what's up, everybody? Amazing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So cool. What an absolutely amazing day that we've had today. Today has been so good, you guys. I can't tell you, man. It's just been one beautiful moment after the next. So, how you guys been? How was your Sunday? How was your all's Mother's Day? Did everybody have a good Mother's Day? Did you guys spend some time with your moms? Did you love them perfectly? I can get you a little closer too, probably. That'll probably help a little bit. Fantastic barbecue. Nice, brother. That sounds great. I was also able to show my mother perfect love. It was fantastic. However, she was in the hospital for the whole thing. So she's still there now. So I'm hanging out in her apartment here or condo with her animals, just chilling. So maybe she'll come home tomorrow. Ah, yeah. So do nice. Well, then you definitely had a good time, brother. Amazing. I understand. My dad is dead also. Oh, he did. Oh, yeah. Bring this up. Well, hopefully they fixed the sound issue because it was crazy, man. On that round table, it was so disappointing because we had such a good talk. And man, it was just like everybody was crackling through the whole thing. I kept turning up and listening to it, and it was just, man, I know people don't like that. I'm guessing there was a lot of that going on at the time, but I don't know. Let's see. So what is the subject this evening, brother? We are talking about When people say things about you, why you have to defend yourself. Why do you feel it's necessary to defend yourself when people say things? No, no. What was it? Last week sometime. What did we have that? Let's see, Saturday we had something. So Friday night. I think Friday night we had a round table. And then Saturday we had our guest Smokey. And how amazing was that, you guys? I love that dude. It's so cool. What an amazing guy. And it's even more amazing now with him overcoming like this. So no, it was beautiful. No, I didn't do anything today, Sojo, except for well, we kind of had a roundtable, I guess, but it was more like in Discord. Are you in Discord with us, Sojo? Come into Discord with us, man. We talk in there, throughout the day a lot of times. And the days that I'm not on during the daytime, a lot of times I'm in there talking to people and it's getting more and more because I'm starting to get a lot of activity in there. And so a lot of times during the day through just all the other stuff that I'm doing, which is mostly just going over scripture and watching, just watching stuff to get a deeper understanding and then, so we can talk about stuff. Can we video chat? Yeah. Yeah, that's what we do. Absolutely. That's what the round table was. We all come into Discord. I got it set up in there for everybody to just come into a little live channel. I have it set up and then I just stream it all and everybody comes in and talks. So the last one is called Nights at the Round Table, but it's nights like nighttime because that's when we do it. So it's a little play on words for you guys. Well, but we're not talking about permissible. We're talking about why do you do it? Of course you can. I'm not arguing with the point that you can. And I won't even argue with the point that if you tell somebody the truth one time, that there's anything wrong with that. But if it continues, obviously, Sojo, then it'd be two devils fighting. But I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying, why do you feel like you have to? And this kind of relates to the trend we've been on. We did the intelligence deal. We talked about respect deal, kind of the pride deal. All of these things they all intersect. So it's almost a repeat. But a lot of times, what happens is people focus on the one thing we're talking about instead of incorporating it into everything in their lives. And so we end up talking about individual things like this, even though this is almost identical to the rest of what we talk about, you guys. So I think you guys will find that though. Eventually you're gonna see that you're already gonna know what I'm gonna say because it's always the same thing and the truth doesn't change, you guys. So it's absolutely amazing. But yeah, you have to get Discord downloaded. Okay, well, when you do, the link is in the bio of the channel. If you just click on, the channel, it'll have the Discord link on there, and you just click it, and it'll bring you right to it, and you can join in. All you have to do is before you click it, get your Discord set up, so that way, because otherwise it'll take you to set up Discord instead of straight into the channel. But yeah, then you can come in there, hang out, post stuff. We have all kinds of places to post stuff. I've got information about the fellowship in there, of course. Then when you can post music or food or vehicles, we have all places for all that. You can share content, share videos, spiritual, anything, share scripture, whatever you want to share in there. If you want to, we have testimonials. We have a place for hardships. If you're having a hard time, you can go in there and talk about it, and other people can come in and kind of help you out in there and also and we don't limit it to who's going to talk. So I mean, if you do come in there and say something hardships, you have to see that just everybody's trying to help, and then you just see what they're saying and go with God with it, not just obviously have to listen to every single different person. And then testimonies of overcoming and all of that. So it says truth puts the world in correct alignment because the opposite of that is a lie, and all lies are of Satan. He is our enemy, so truth is our salvation, just as Jesus says, I am truth. I agree with all that. I agree with all that. But when you know the truth, do you have to defend it? Like you said, you can, and I understand you can. But now the question becomes, do you have to defend it? If you don't defend it, is that wrong then? And if you do defend it, and I know that we talked about this, Sojo, but how do you defend it I can't say you can defend it in the right way, but how do you love in the right way? How do you show love in the right way without being defensive? What do you guys think about that? Again, because Sojo, I'm of course that's is exactly our faith here is the truth that Jesus Christ gave all of us, right? That's exactly what we're talking about. So we're in alignment with that. But where that line gets crossed is that when someone says something about me or attacks me, other than just saying, "Hey, God bless you, brother," and I understand because Jesus told us he was the perfect example, you guys. Jesus was the perfect example. He was getting murdered on the cross and asked God to forgive them. He did not have to defend anything. When Pontius Pilate came and asked him over and over again if he said these things, Jesus stayed silent. He never had to defend himself. He never had to say, "I didn't say that. I didn't say that." You know what I'm saying? He never had to defend himself. Isn't that deep? He just said, what did he say? I believe he said, "Whatever they said about me is true." Is that what he said? Or something to that effect? Just believe whatever they said, or something like that. Maybe you guys that know the verse a little bit more, you can tell me, but it was something to that effect. Could you send me the link to video chat with you? Oh, you want to go on now? Oh, I'm not set up in Discord right now. Now, I'm just live. But yeah, you want to go live with me, Brian? Yeah, you can go live with me right now, brother. Um, let's see, how can I send it to you? I can send you the link on PlayStation, I believe. You want to go live right now? I'll send it over to you. Let's see, you got the PlayStation on your phone, right? So when you click it, it'll take you to YouTube and you'll come in with me. So yes, hold on. Come in, brother. Let's go. Uh, Be right back. Absolutely amazing. Let's see. Okay. All right. Yep. Everything should be good. I think I got Brian sent out here in Discord. So just wait for him to see what's going on. Yeah, Rand, it's gonna be all salt before too long, man. It's gonna be heavy salt and low pepper. I'll have to get some just for men, I guess, huh? Straighten that out. Actually, this over here that's gray, I've had since I was, I don't know, 25, 26. I have no idea. But that spot never came in with color. The rest of it, of course, is all now coming in grays all over the place. But and the guys asked me to grow it out. So before anybody says, "Why don't you shave, man?" It's because the guys are asking me to grow my beard out. So I'm trying. My body doesn't know how to grow a beard at all. So it's doing its thing. Let's see. Matthias, from warlock to anointed since April 7th, Holy Spirit presented to me and opened my eyes. Whoa, really? From warlock to anointed since April 7th, Holy Spirit presented to me and opened my eyes. Well, God bless you, brother. Absolutely amazing. That's deep, my friend. So he says, prophetic fulfillment. His silence was a fulfillment of prophecy, notably in Isaiah 53:7, which prophesies that the suffering servant would be silent like a sheep before its shearers. Nice. How many people think they're suffering and they must complain about it, Sojo? That's deep, man. How many people, because they're not even suffering because they don't know true suffering, but how many people think that they are suffering, and because they think that they are suffering, they always complain about stuff. Nothing is ever good enough. It's very deep, brother. That is more than a prophetic fulfillment, but it is a way to be Christ-like, brother. There's definitely more to it than just the fulfillment, even though it was the fulfillment. But yeah. Matthias says, broke me into tears, ran the closest church, met a man, recall his name as James, looked at the Bible. James 4:7 flipped my life 180. Wow. Amazing, brother. Soldier, we're going to have to get you into that Old Testament, brother. Get you up to speed. Lots of good stuff in the Old Testament. I don't know why. I got God. I don't have to have the Old Testament, my friend. Even if I did, um, it wouldn't change anything, man. Won't change a thing. So I don't know why anybody else would be anxious for that. Sojo. Matthias, all these years, all those ghosts were demons all along since the age of 6. Yeshua, I don't know that next word. Jesus loves us all. Okay, you said some words I don't know, brother. I'm sorry, I'm not an intellectual like that. So some of those words are beyond my interpretation, my knowledge of how to pronounce them, my pronunciation. So sorry about that. So it's been speeding. Oh, I think you've meant to say I've been spreading my testimony and his teaching ever since. Yahweh, your way, not our way. Yeah. I've heard that many times. Your way. Yep. Yahweh, not your way. Not our way, only your way, Yahweh. Amen. Been learning Greek, Hebrew, and Latin to learn as much as I can. Amazing, brother. Well, I do the opposite. I'm dumb, my friend, and I love being dumb. And I don't search for intellectual knowledge in that way. I only search to be closer to God, to be one with the Father. And the more I try and get smart, the further it takes me away from that. And that's for me personally. I know a lot of people um, want to gain that knowledge, and knowledge is fine. But I can tell you that knowledge cannot give you the wisdom. You must give it to God to get the wisdom from that knowledge. Thank you for spreading the word, my friend. Jesus is looking over all of us. Keep up the good work. God bless you, brother. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Brother, you need that Old Testament. It's inspired word of God. I'm answering questions for you out of the Old Testament. Well, you didn't answer a question for me. You told me something that you thought. So, and then I asked about what you said, but uh let's see. Yeah. Now, you told me your interpretation of what I said. I never asked you, just so you know. I was not asking, brother. But once you said it, I did ask because I wanted to get a little more in depth there, what you're saying. But yeah, no, it doesn't bother me at all, Sojo. Not even a little bit. If I never read it, it won't bother me a bit. Might bother you, won't bother me. Matthias says, did you know there are more than 63,000 connections between Old and New Testament written by 40 people in a span of 400 years? Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't know it, but you said it, and I take you for your word. So I don't doubt it. Ken, what is up, brother? Me, where I've been at, Ken, I'm on every single day, brother. What are you talking about? Well, except for Sundays, my day off. Heck, man, I was on, shoot, man, we put in some hours last week. Ken, where you been? I think I'm running low on notifications or something, or YouTube maybe is having a notification problem. That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only thing that I can think of, brother. But I'm glad you're here. I am glad you're here, buddy. How you been? How is everything going? You guys, Ken came through, what, not even a month ago, I think. A few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and we went and had dinner together and hung out. He's from he's from California and I'm in Missouri, so it was quite the drive for him. But he didn't come just for me or anything, but he was going on a trip anyway. So man, it was absolutely amazing. Great time. Oh, Ken, because of the name change. I put a post about it, brother. Not what I thought. That's Bible scripture. That's the word of God. And I use that out of Old Testament to answer your question. Well, then why not just say it instead of putting the scripture with it? Just out of curiosity. Oh, okay. No, you said that's Bible scripture. Okay, I read your statement wrong. Sorry. So it just says, not what I thought. That's Bible scripture. That's the word of God. Okay, now I see what you're saying. All right. I understand, brother. And if you don't have the word of God from the Old Testament, then you will never know God. Is that what you're saying, so Joe? And says it kept me giving me notifications for this page I don't remember subscribing to, and come to find out it was you. Absolutely hilarious, brother. You're like, who is this? Yeah, we've had some changes, my friend. We have had some changes. Amazing, brother. That's too funny. Then you're just where have you? It's like you gone for a couple days, dude. And next thing you know, you're like, where the heck is Toots? You had to have been really wondering what was up, because it's been what? It's probably been a week since we did that. I think we did it last week sometime. Well, nice, you guys. Amazing. Well, we're just chilling. We're just hanging out again. Ken, we're talking about cats or dogs. Yeah, both, man. Cats and dogs, brother. Absolutely. We're talking about when people talk about you, why do you have to defend yourself? If you want to, if you guys want to comment on that, up to you. Again, not even if you should or not, but just if you feel you have to, why do you feel that you have to? Because it's dogs. Have you not seen that Disney movie, Cats and Dogs? Is that a Disney movie? I guess I haven't seen it, man. Is it a question? Oh, he didn't put a question mark. Oh, okay. I thought maybe I see. I see. No, I didn't get that at all. So it says because you use scripture, that's your authority, that is your basis from God, that's your operating home base, that's your permission slip. Hmm. I guess I don't know, man. That might be all of your stuff, but um yeah, I don't use it like that, man. And I do not see it like that. Wolf says it feels disrespectful and I want to clarify if it's true or not. Ah, Wolf, amazing, brother. You should have been here. We did. Why do you have to why do you deserve respect, Wolf? Why do you think you deserve respect, brother? These are, and the reason we're talking about this, Wolf, is absolutely amazing, brother. These are all identities that we identify with. And whenever somebody challenges those identities, we feel like we have to defend it because we identify so strongly with those identities like that. Like respect. Oh, everybody, you must respect me. Oh, have respect. How dare you talk about me? How that it's all ego, man. There is no reason that you deserve respect. Now, like Sojo said, in the Bible, it does say to be respectful, but that's up to the person that is giving it, not receiving it. And it is godly to be respectful. It's not the, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying if you let go of thinking you deserve something, nobody can ever make you angry. They can't touch you. If you don't think you deserve respect, then when someone disrespects you, it means absolutely nothing, you guys. You will feel nothing from it. And Wolf also, so then that's great, man. And also, you want to clarify if it's true or not. I totally get it. We jump to think we have to defend something to prove something to someone else. And it feels good. And it truly is from Satan. Satan gives us this thought in our head that we're something and that we have to defend it. And you can just fill in the blank with whatever that is. It's going to be, there's a million identities that people identify with. They're always something. It's always something. Oh, I'm this. And then when you say, well, that's stupid, or I don't like that, or that's wrong, or any of those things, instead of just seeing that it doesn't matter what the other person says, that they can't take the truth away from you no matter what they say or what they do, and that if you know the truth, how could anybody ever take it from you? There's a great story that our pastor told us, and he was talking to a lady, and they were having a, oh, Brian, amazing, you guys. We'll continue that story here in a little bit. Brian's in the house. What up, buddy?
Going on?
Hey, man, how's it going?
It's going.
Great to see you, brother.
So how's life treating you over there?
Absolutely amazing, my friend. How about yourself?
I can't complain.
Um, nice. So I was just reading chat. Me and Sojo are discussing on I think he feels like I need to read the Old Testament, and I'm just trying to explain to him that whether I do read it or not, it's not necessary. But I'm not saying that I won't read it. I'm just saying that when other people think that you need something, this is exactly what we're talking about. That if you know whether you need it or not, then that nobody can affect you. Nobody can get you upset or mad if you just see that what's coming from somebody else is in them, and it has nothing to do with you. So, what do you think about that?
Mm. I don't think it hurts to have just a little bit of research behind certain things.
Hmm.
You don't have to read the full testament. Just, you know, acknowledge yourself just enough with it so you understand other people's point of views, regardless if it sets well with you or not. At least you have an understanding.
Right. And
But no,
do you
you shouldn't be forced into reading anything that you don't need to read or want to read. But it doesn't hurt to have that enough of knowledge to make sure you understand what's going on in their world or their vision.
Yeah, and if you understand it for yourself, do you think there's truly any way that you understand what's going on in somebody else's thoughts?
Uh, maybe, maybe not. I think it depends on the situation.
I guess, like, if you're talking about, like, a spouse, maybe someone that you spend a lot of time with, that you could truly kinda know their heart and see their in a deeper way. I think it's
Yeah,
very hard to do that on the internet over texting.
yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that.
And especially when they're limited. I have an advantage here, and so that's why I kind of take everybody at their word, and I don't try and like say that people are lying in here or trying to I just take everybody at their word because it's so difficult to get their point across as it is when I can just talk. So I'd like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of hard to discuss the Old Testament, New Testament when if the person that you're trying to discuss it with has very limited knowledge to it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you're right. You shouldn't have to read it if you feel comfortable with who you are and what you understand. But yeah, it doesn't hurt to have that little bit of research. But
I
yeah, I can see your point.
I agree with you completely. If you're going to have a discussion or debate over the Old Testament and you don't read it, you're a fool. If you're going to sit there and debate it with somebody and try and act like you know the scripture itself more than someone else, boy, you better read it. You must know it then if you're going to think you're smart about it. But I admit that that the information that I have is from God, not from the Bible anyway. And even when I do read the Bible, it's amazing to see that the things that God has shown me are in there. It's absolutely beautiful, and it blows me away every time. But then I don't read the Bible and then think I know something without sitting with it and giving it to God and just letting that sit with me. I never just read a scripture and think or try and interpret it in a way of my own thought. I try and let everything be. I just read the scriptures for what they are, and then I let them sit with me instead of trying to interpret or um, I think everybody tries to try and connect with that scripture or something like that. They want to think that they know exactly what is being talked about. And I would rather kind of, I don't want to know anything that God's not going to show me, if that makes sense. If God's not showing it to me or revealing it to me, and I'm trying to think about it too much, Satan's going to trick me into thinking something that's not real.
Makes sense.
Oh,
I
sorry.
can see where you're coming from.
The Bulla asked, "Who is the guest tonight?" This is my friend Brian, and he goes in here by what is it? NES,
Yes,
NES.
NES for life.
Yes, NES for life. And he's my friend Brian, and we've gamed together. And he's been I don't know, you've been you know, in the channel with us for I don't know a long time.
Yeah, stumbled across you guys playing DayZ one day.
And so Brian's been here back ever since we started this channel, just playing video games, you guys. Let me see. I'm just gonna catch up with chat here real quick and see. Let's see, Sojo. Let's see, time. Most people tell me that's Old Testament like it's obsolete. Are we not supposed to learn on our own understanding? Yeah, no, we're definitely not supposed to learn on our own understanding, TME. Um, of ourselves, we know nothing. Only through God do we learn these things, my friend. And that's where if you get into needing the interpretation of every single thing, you're yeah, you're gonna trick yourself. You're gonna get something that's not real because you're gonna be searching for that interpretation, and then you'll accept it from wherever. And it's just there's no need to think that we have to know every single thing. I'm okay with not knowing some stuff. I know um that Jesus Christ died on the cross to save us from our sins, and that um I had to admit that I was wrong. I had to go and forgive so I could be forgiven, so God could bring me back to the kingdom of heaven and show me how to love perfectly. And now I can share that love with everybody else. And I don't know if you guys think that I need to know more than that. You would have to tell me specifically what it is that I would need to know beyond that I'm doing wrong. Ryan, what do you think about that?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a religious person, so this is kind of off a different realm for me.
That's okay, man. That's perfect.
Uh, I've always believed that the energy inside of me, either going to heaven or hell, I've already learned to accept the path, whatever which way I go when I pass. But yeah, like you said, we was taught as a kid and young, if you went to church, Jesus died on the cross for your sins. If you say your nightly prayers or whatever, just keep your communication open with him. You'll be in the kingdom before you know it, be
Mm,
accepted.
yep, indeed.
But but yeah, I mean, I don't go to church. My wife does. I don't
Mhm.
do the church thing. Religion's never been for me.
I understand completely, brother.
So, but I never question anybody's faith. If it's what helps you get through your day and your life, having something there to hold on to, please keep hold on it.
So you say you're not into it, but do you believe though? Are you a believer or not?
You know, I believe at the end of it, we go someplace, whether good or bad. That's up to debate. But yeah, I believe that there was a Jesus. I believe that there was a God. We was created somewhere, somehow, some way.
Yeah, amazing. And do you believe that he was the son of God?
I do.
Amazing, amazing.
I do.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
there hasn't been anything to tell me otherwise yet, or shown me anywise yet.
Yeah,
Until that's been proven differently, then yes.
I understand completely. Because I was going to ask you then, was my next question is where do you get your morals from if you don't have faith? That's what was my next question. But now I know. So,
It's okay. You call it morals. I call it common sense.
oh, indeed, I agree with that. Common sense is God's sense.
I was raised with common sense. I was raised to know what was good and bad without going to church, reading the Bible, or anything else. I know that killing somebody is not the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's
You
and no,
know,
that is
I
100%.
don't have to have the the God or Jesus to tell me or the conscience of good and versus bad on my shoulders, telling me, hey, go do this or go do that, not do this, do that. My mind's like, don't be going down for doing that, dumbass.
Yeah, the Holy Spirit is within and it will guide you, and you don't have to have the Bible or religion or church or any of that to be guided by the Holy Spirit, you guys. You don't have to. Now you could, and it could still be okay, but I can tell you right now that so many people go to church, read the Bible, know the Bible front to back, know every scripture in it, and they still don't know God, you guys. It's not a surefire way to get in. You can do all those things and still not change your heart. So, and I'm sure you guys have seen it. You've seen the people
I
that go
think
to church come out and they're angry.
I think sometimes I was raised to be common sense, smart, and book stupid.
I think that's God's plan for all of us, technically.
And then there's other times I can look at a book, read it, and understand it, and be common sense stupid about it. It's dependent on the book or what I'm looking at the time.
That's deep. That's actually deep because that's exactly how Satan works through us. When we do that, we can get lost in thought. We can do something and we can be as simple and as common as can be, and then something like reading a book or getting too deep into something can really mess with our thoughts. And then next thing you know, we're living in like imagination and fantasy, the past, the future, trying to compare our lives with it. We're constantly trying. That's the other thing is we'll read a novel and then we want to turn our lives into that. We compare our lives with the things of others instead of just reading it and then dropping it and letting it go. So,
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people's issues now.
mm,
I think that's what's going on with this country and this world right now. We're letting media dictate our thoughts to
oh
a point of
yeah,
no return.
absolutely. I tell everybody I can't even watch politics anymore. I don't watch any news or politics anymore. It's just a way for people to get emotional.
And I'm gonna say it, and I feel bad for saying it. Sometimes I think religion does that to you, shit too.
Mhm.
I think sometimes it causes more problems than it does anything else for people.
Absolutely.
And I and it shouldn't be that way, and I should never think that way. But man, I tell you, it's hard nowadays just to sit here and look at somebody and they judge. Like I'm covered in tattoos, and I get judged constantly for it because you scar in your temple, whatever. And I'm sitting there thinking, get your nose out of a book, get in reality sometime soon, please.
Yeah. Well, I think anybody who claims to be a Christian and then judges you to the point where they hate you for something, they're not a Christian.
Oh yeah, I totally believe in that myself. That's why I don't go to church.
Mhm.
That's the main reason why I don't go to church because I am sometimes the rudest person in the world, and it is just a trigger. And I don't know. One of these days I will overcome that trigger, but right now it's just like holy hell.
Yeah. So, you still deal with anger a lot then?
Oh yeah, daily. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
daily.
And do you find yourself wanting to overcome it more or trying to overcome that anger more?
It's gotten to the point now to where it's more of those I have just settled with it, and it's become part of me more than I am fighting against it because it's just causing more stress than it is anything else. So I just learned how to cope with it and take a deep breath and just, I guess you can consider it overcoming because I
Mm,
normally just take a deep breath, count to 10, walk away.
mhm. Yeah. Afterwards, do you ever feel like awkward or shameful about getting angry?
No, because normally it's towards some people who probably need it more than they probably deserve. So I don't feel bad going after the people I go after.
What about in the
I don't go after people who don't deserve it.
So you don't get angry in the home.
No,
Okay. You don't get angry with your wife or anything like
no,
that.
no, no. Almost 20 years of marriage. I have that has been taken care of, overcame. We have grown to our adaptations. We have
Nice.
figured out all of our differences,
Yeah.
and I've learned to work around hers
Mhm.
because she has a severe OCD.
Oh,
So
okay.
the minute I move something, she notices it.
Mhm.
So when the minute she starts cleaning or rearranging, I have to pay attention to what she's moving so I know where it's at the next day.
Wow. And but you said that she is religious.
She is.
Have you, and I know it's weird to talk to somebody about something religious when you're not religious, so it's probably the answer is no, but have you ever talked to her about ever overcoming that spirit of, OCD-ness?
I think her idea of overcoming the OCD-ness is actually doing whatever her OCD-ness is triggering her to do.
Okay. I
I don't think it's unhealthy. I think it's just one of those. It randomly hits her. She cleans something and then she's good.
yeah.
So it doesn't control her life like a lot of people's OCD does, like you see on TV or you read on online and stuff like that.
I think one of the biggest parts about overcoming that most people don't see is that just seeing it is one of the biggest parts. And if you see it and you don't identify with it and you just let things happen, your God's already working with you. People think
See,
that they're not doing it, but they really are doing it because they're seeing what's going on inside of themselves.
I'm not sure previously how she was, but this almost triggered pretty much after her brain surgery. She had to have a tumor removed on the right side of her brain when she was young. And she lost like a lot of taste for certain foods and she has no peripheral vision on her right side. Well, she started becoming more organized, more cleaned, more everything ever since that brain surgery. So I don't know if something just triggered it and she's
Very weird.
now,
Yeah.
you know, more up aware of everything now than compared to what she was beforehand. Because I don't know if OCD bothered her when she was a kid or it just kicked in after the brain surgery.
Well, cleanliness is next to godliness, but you just don't want to overdo it. You don't want it to control you, is all.
Yeah, she doesn't let it control her. She hits a spurt, does her thing, and then it's done.
Yeah, that's amazing. I see that a lot. I see a lot of people that are seeing what's going on inside of them, and even though they're not able to completely overcome it, that they see it and they know what it is and they're working on it, and I think that is just important to God as anything else. I think already God is working with you hand in hand when you've come that far. When you can see it, it is him that is showing that to you. We just don't see it that way yet, but that's how you come to it if you keep going through it.
And the sad part is, I think I've got part of her OCD too, because every time and it's weird because I'll be rearranging my video game collection, and it's all in alphabetical order now, and I'm just sitting there going, "Oh, really? All these years from me not worrying about things being in alphabetical order, now they are."
Isn't that
And
crazy how
I don't know if I'm doing it cautiously for her because it makes her ease of mind knowing that it's in alphabetical order. I don't have to worry about it, or it's me picking up on her OCD for what it is. But yeah, it's like funnier than hell because I won't even think about it and I'll go and do it and I'll go back and I'll look at it like 2 days later going, seriously, Brian, I just organized that in alphabetical order. Really? The hell am I doing?
I mean, it is wild how that spirit can transfer. And it's the same way that kind of goes from the mother to the child. When you get the traits of your mother, it's that same thing that you can pick up the traits of your spouse like that in that same way. So it's definitely that spirit can transfer. It's just it's not like you think where it's like, "Oh, a ghost came into me." You know what I'm saying? It's a visual thing that thoughts get control of you because that's where that spirit comes from, and then you just start saying and then the thought and then it's just as simple, just like you said, "Oh, man, I should straighten those games up." And then next thing you know, you're into the straightening the games up, and you think it's your thought, right? That thought pops in your head, and you're like, "Oh, man, yeah, I should straighten the games up." But you see how I said that? It's you talk to the thought. It's actually the thought was already there and then you engage with it. It's like bang, the game, straighten the games. Oh, I need to straighten my games up. You know what I mean? Like that original thing that comes in our head, but we never catch it. We never catch the first one. We instantly start talking to that, and then we're just lost. As soon as you talk to it once, it's just like it's your friend in there. It feels like us after that point.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I can see where that's coming from. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
I can get
that's why we watch that is all. That's why we watch it. So that way, if you watch it, then you can see what it is. So that way you can just try and work on it, man. That's as good as it gets.
so is there something that triggers you that you have to defend yourself on when someone questions anything about you?
Me? Oh, there used to be. I used to have to defend myself all the time. It used to be, man, if someone says, and this is a great point because me and David were talking in the Discord earlier, and I want David to know this too. Had I listened to the thoughts that were going on when me and him were talking in Discord, I'd still be going back and forth with him in there. Those thoughts, even after me and David stopped talking, the next thought was, "Oh, you need to tell him this. Oh, you need to tell him that." The only difference is now is that I see it right from the beginning. There is no difference in it's not like I've gotten to that level of ascension where the thoughts are gone. It may happen. I don't know, so I don't want to have an expectation of it. That's the goal at the end. I want to reach that level. I don't know if I will, but at least right now I'm seeing them before I react to them. And to me, that has changed my life completely. That not reacting to everything is the way I overcame the ego and the pride and needing respect and needing to be told that I'm intelligent. A lot of these things is the reason that we feel that way is we want other people to perceive us that way. So when we tell people or when we defend ourselves, it's because we want them to perceive us in a certain way. And if they don't, it affects us. Even though we should know that no matter how someone else perceives you, cannot affect you whatsoever. It can't unless you let it. It's all a thought, it's all in your head. Even if someone tells you, oh, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're ugly, all these things, right? They could call you every single name. If you can see that it's just a thought, it can never affect you again. The thoughts will keep you in prison, Lobola says. It's so true. And this is the reason we talk about it is because I see people every day overcoming this exact thing. This exact thing of just being able to catch that because we all react, right? This reaction, it happens so often, man. We go somewhere like think about work. And I don't know about you personally, Brian, but just for me, I used to overreact at work all the time. Somebody would say something, and man, it's just like then you're in it. And then after you'd be in it, like for instance, I worked at the golf course, I'd get in it. Man, I'd be thinking about it on the mower for the next 4 hours. It wouldn't leave my mind. I would just sit there and go over it and relive it and relive it and relive it. And I would get angry. And then I'd be like, oh, I need to tell him this. Ooh, I need to tell him that. Man, it is so deep now that I see what that is. It truly changed me when I started seeing it and stopped talking to it.
Yeah, I guess yeah. Say Doof's in the house now.
Doof, what up, brother? Doof knows. Doof has really been overcoming, you guys. It is absolutely amazing. The transformation that he has had from the mindset, which is very similar to most people, to now where he's overcoming that spirit. He's dropping the anger. He's seeing, he's admitting that he's wrong. He's going and forgiving. I mean, I'm telling you, Doof is truly working on himself, and I can see the changes in him. And this is, you guys, this isn't like in person. I'm seeing it with just the little bit that we communicate online, on Discord, on YouTube. I can see him changing in just the way he talks on here. And it's absolutely amazing, you guys. And everybody can have that. And if you're going through things like, well, for instance, Brian, do you have like depression, anxiety, that kind of
I being younger, I did. I learned how to cope with the anxiety part, but the depression part hits me once in a great while, and I just kind of take a deep breath and keep to myself, and I keep pushing myself forward. But it's still sitting on my head. I normally don't let things phase my thought, especially when I'm at work. I just kind of keep my head on my job, and I'll deal with everything else later. And when later comes around, I still don't deal with it because I live an unhealthy mental life when it comes to that kind of stuff.
well, I can tell you that if you saw that it wasn't you, you could never have to deal with it. If you see it's
Yes,
not you,
dude, it's
never
me.
talk up to it, you never have to tell it anything. You leave that space. Basically what it does is right now when you have that reaction, there's no space between you and that spirit. You guys are in agreement and you're one. But when you don't react to it, that spirit attacks you and you leave that space and you have no reaction, that's where God comes in. God fills that space as long as you don't try and fill it with something else, like knowledge and all this other stuff that you're going to try and fill that, all these identities. If you don't, and you keep that space right there, that's where God is. And God just sits in that space because this still comes and this will still happen, but you'll see that it was never you, that those thoughts aren't you, that that's just trying to attack you. And I know because we've done a lot of talking that if you've dealt with things like anger and all that stuff, then you know that like you got to be like, why do I do that? What is going on in there that I lose that self control or that or that get into that moment where I think that something's and then an hour later, 2 minutes later, 1 minute later, you're just fine. Like it's like, what in the world is going on inside of us that can control us so deeply? And it's not even like that serious, like what we're talking about here. Like someone says something bad about you, and man, it gets control of you.
I think I guess what triggers me the most about a lot of things, having a discussion, and if I know I'm right about something and I can prove to you that I'm right and you're still wanting to pick this argument with me, I think that's what pisses me off the worst.
Boy, oh
I think
boy.
that's what that triggers me the worst because I laid down black and white that I am right, and you're still looking at it like I am full of shit and don't know what I'm talking about. I think that's what triggers me the most.
Fine, you said it exactly, you guys. He just said exactly what the whole topic is about tonight. He said it. It is he has to defend it because that he wants that other person to align with what he's saying. And if that other person doesn't align, that's where the thoughts get him. The thoughts are just with him like, no, 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 you need to defend yourself. Think about that guy, he's wrong. You're right. You need to defend yourself. Man, that's so deep, Brian. Just the fact that you said that you can see it, that is step one of overcoming it right there.
But yeah, yeah. I guess my old step one was just to punch somebody in the face for doing it. But yeah, I guess I am growing up a little bit here. I guess
Nice.
I have taken it. I have taken a step back, taken a deep breath, and said, "Okay, you know what? No, I'm done. I can't do this. I have enough gray hair as it is. I don't need any more."
Have you found that when you punched them in the face, that instantly made them agree with you, or it was still
It was
non-agreement?
a stress reliever. It just was a stress reliever, and I didn't care anymore after that if they agree with me or not.
That's
I
right.
just felt it was selfishness. I just felt better.
Yep. And now if you don't punch them, what is it that relieves that now for you if you're in the middle of that argument?
Me walking away. Me
Nice.
walking away.
That's right. Knowing that um you have the truth. There should be no, and this is great. I'll tell this story here in just a second, but knowing that you have the truth, when you know it's the truth, right? Like what you're saying, like you know it's true. So you feel like you have to convince someone. That's exactly when you don't have to convince them. That's when you know you have it. Nobody can take it from you. And to be honest with you, you can't give it to anybody else. Even though we want to give somebody the truth, if they're not willing to accept it, you'll never give it to them. They will believe a lie for the rest of their life if they're not willing to open their eyes and see.
And I think that's what it gets underneath my skin.
Mm.
They ask for proof. You give them proof,
And then they don't take it. They don't
and
believe
then
it.
and they still are just wanting to bicker about it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this is why I didn't have kids. I think
And
this is the main reason why I never had kids because that why question, that why phase in a kid would drive me nuts.
absolutely. And then whenever you're talking with them and then you get angry and then and then it's two devils fight. Next thing you know, you're in this whole argument. And a lot of times at the end of it, it doesn't even get resolved in that way. It's not like they hardly ever does somebody when they're arguing ever see it your way. At the end of that argument, it's very, very rare. There's probably a very small percentage, and I'm sure it's not all, but most people, if they're in that argument phase where they're fighting about it, neither side accepts the other side. Even if the one side knows the wrong, maybe the other side doesn't know the wrong too. And that's what we have to accept also is why do we think that they have to understand what we understand? They have to.
I don't think it's the idea that they have to understand what we understand. I think it's getting to the point now in today's society is that if someone is asking for evidence of something and you give them the evidence 2 or 3 different versions of that evidence, and they're still arguing with you about it, I think that's when the fight's on, because now you have given them what they wanted. You have given them the knowledge they have asked for, and they're still picking this fucking fight with you.
Hmm. Yeah. And that's why
And I
you,
don't have and I don't have patience.
yeah. Well, that's deep. That is a I think probably you have more patience than you know, but I think you probably don't give yourself credit, which is what most people do. I think you probably judge yourself more than anybody else in the world.
Well, yeah, I'm a Leo. That's what we do. I
Yep.
it's that whole idea of what the Leo stands for is self criticism's worse than anything else in the world.
Yep. That's so deep
And
too.
I've always been self criticized myself. I've always held myself down to a certain standard because I've always been taught there's always someone better than you, smarter than you at something. You can't always be good at everything, so there's always someone that's better than you at something.
Oh yeah. Doof said, "Is that Brian?" Yes, it is. Yes, that's NES for life, Doof. Absolutely, brother. Doof said that he was a firecracker when he was younger, taught to respect power, and he said he was misled by his father, and he was taught that power was respect.
Now, see, I was never taught that power was respect. I was always taught respect was always earned, not given.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, now the power idea is an ego trip for
Mm-hmm.
bosses like who I work for.
Big time.
They rather just be playing chess with the employees instead of leading the employees.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it could. I can see where people say power is over everything because if you have the power, you control everything in the world. The problem is it's in your world. It's not controlling anybody else's world.
When you have power, people respect you because they want to take your power. Lose the power and see how much respect you get.
And I don't think people have the power like they think they have the power. I think there's an intimidation factor that a lot of people need to get over first. You have a lot of people who can stand up, stand strong, and be a strong leader, and they consider that powerful. And you have all these people who are followers who either don't want the responsibility, don't want to feel the pressure, or can't handle the pressure of being a leader. So you get this, this power trip from this person. He gains this ego, she gains an ego, gets this power trip, thinking they're untouchable.
Yeah.
I've been through that with several bosses. I've seen it. I've seen it with friends. I've seen it with family. It's just dumb, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
I've seen it in more places than that too, more places in the workplace. I've seen it all over. I've seen it in churches. I've seen it I mean, you see it in YouTube all the time. Everywhere you go, you're seeing that people act like when they're powerful, that they get respect, but it's all a lie. People fake it so that way they can try and steal that power.
Yeah,
I
makes
don't
sense.
A little different in the workplace because I think a lot of people are scared also, like you were saying, of having that responsibility. I think people are terrified of responsibility.
It terrified of responsibility and accountability for a lot of things.
Yeah. Doof was just saying to clarify, I grew up. Yeah. No, absolutely, Doof. All good, brother. I don't know what I don't know what else you said there, but no worries, my friend. And uh I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyway, amazing. I appreciate you sharing, Doof. That's absolutely amazing, brother. So always appreciated when you come in, and Doof is just a great example of what can happen when you're working on yourselves, you guys. Like I said, everybody, and it's for everybody. And like I said, you can get deep into religion if you want and work on yourself, or you can just live a decent life and see what's going on inside of yourself and work on yourself that way. There's no other than understanding understanding, like what you said, once you have that belief and you're overcoming that anger, you're doing the right thing. The reason that we don't think that we're doing enough is because, again, like I was saying, we judge ourselves so harshly. We want to compare ourselves with others. And when we see someone else has it, then we're like, oh man, I should have that. When we're all individuals, there's no comparison. No one is like you. No one has exactly what you have. No one will ever be like you. Not in the history of existence has one person been like you, or will there ever be one person like you. So each journey is their own person's journey, and when we get into that comparing ourselves with other one, we never have enough. We're always down on ourselves. We never do good enough because there's always someone else that's better or that we think is better even though they're not. Because usually you and I'm sure you know, more money, more problems. The better you get financially, a lot of times the further that way it takes you away from God and love and all that other stuff. So
Oh, I mean, yeah, they said money's the root of all evil. I mean, I can understand it.
money and power don't give you that knowledge, that wisdom. In fact, money and power can hurt you if you fall into it. When you start identifying with that too, then here's where it happens. It's all good, right? You got all this money and everything's great. Life is so good. And this is how the good thoughts, this is what Lobola was talking about with the good thoughts too. This is how the good thoughts mess you up. You're like, oh man, God has protected me. Look at all that He's given me. Things are so good, all this money. And then something happens, you lose all your money and then you hate God. God took everything away from me. God put me in this. Look at what He's done. It's so easy to get into that identifying with things like money and all that. And then we don't even see that if that's taken away from us, we'll end up hating God for it because we think that since He's the one who gave it to us, He's the one taken away from us.
And maybe some people need to look at it like this. It was a lesson. He gave you this, you mishandled it. Now he's taken away from you until you learn how to grow up.
I think the lesson should be and well, actually, the lesson is that if you can lose the love of God when you lose the money, you never had the love of God. You never loved God. It was all fake. You only had that good time love, which is human love, which is very normal for people because that's human love, human emotion. We love somebody until they do something, and then we're mad at them, and then we're angry, and then sometimes we hate them. Not all, but a lot. Um, you know, we go, we meet somebody we fall in love, right? We fall in love. Everything is so good at first. You guys have this great relationship. And then next thing you know, that showcase personality wears off because none of us act like ourselves truly whenever we're, trying to get a spouse. And then someone does something the other person doesn't like. And it may start small, but inevitably, if you don't know real love, that fake human love always turns to hate because it's conditional. I'll love you as long as you love me. I'll love you as long as you do this. I'll love you as long as you don't cheat on me. I'll love you as long as you don't become a drug addict. I'll love you as long as you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of marriages now. That's sad because I guess the difference between my wife and I compared to a lot of people, my wife and I dated in high school. We already understood each other. We knew what we was getting ourselves into when we got married. So we already had a jump start. So I can't compare my marriage to a lot of other people's marriages because
Well,
we already knew each other. We knew some of the downsides to each other. So we already knew kind of where we were setting.
yeah. Connoisseur, this is NES for life, brother, from the chat, also known as Brian. I call him. But and that may be his government name, but I don't know for sure. I don't want to assume.
Yeah, it's my government name. I was named after an actor.
Nice.
And
Which
you
one?
know the actor.
Which one?
You got his car from Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, well, who?
Think about the coyote.
Oh, I don't think I watched it enough to know who the actor was in that.
Brian Keith. He was the judge in the TV show.
And Keith, who is that?
He
That name seems so
he
fa
was in my he was also in My Three Sons.
I'll have to look it up because that name seems so familiar, but I can't put a face with it.
Yeah, my he was one of my dad's favorite actors, and that was one of his favorite TV shows.
I'll have to look it up. The only thing I can think of is I know that keeps running through my head. I think his name is Keith David or something. And he was in They Live with Roddy Piper.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I
I know who that is.
I
Yeah, I watched
I
yeah.
I know that's not who it is, so
No, no, but I know who that is, though.
I honest with you
Yeah.
very but, yeah, so anyway, did your dad watched him in a series called A Family Affair.
That was the other TV show I was thinking of, was Family Affair. Yeah, thank you. There
Very
I
nice.
was sitting there wondering what the hell the other TV show was, but yeah, that's the other one.
Sojo's been around for a minute, so he definitely knows a lot, that's for sure. God bless him.
Yeah,
Uh,
Hardcastle and McCormick only lasted, like, 3 seasons, so it wasn't on very long.
which one? The Ardcastle and McCormick?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
where the Coyote X.
Yeah, when we built that car on GTA.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. I didn't even know it until we looked it up. I hadn't seen it, but let's see. David said Jesus Christ is the truth about how to live life, the way of how to live life, and the definition of life. Without Jesus, there is nothing, no real life. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. It's all that fake ego life, that life of death that whole time. So, Brian, what do you think about the ego? Do you get lost in the ego a lot, or have you dropped that ego?
I have spikes of egos once in a great while, but it's not something that controls me.
And
And
what?
it's nothing, and I guess it's nothing major either, like nothing serious to have an ego over. I guess it's something to give. I guess it's a self ego because I give myself a pat on the back when I get some things done that I always wanted to get done. So it ain't like I'm flexing on somebody else.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
keep that. It's more built for me than it is for anybody else.
yeah. Well, definitely it is. Our ego caters to us for sure. It knows exactly how to manipulate us to where we feed it, if you know what I mean.
Because like I don't I like I have an I'm an engineer
Mm.
part time. So if I get a big project done and I'm proud of myself, that kind of boosts my ego about
Uh, yeah.
that, and that's why I don't flex on everybody else because
Very
it's
nice.
nothing for me to go out in public and flex saying, "Hey, I just bench pressed 300 pounds," and you know,
That was
f
what
you guys, you know.
I definitely used to do that. I used to go to the gym and then I would run to tell my buddies exactly what we lifted that day.
So yeah, I've never been one for flexing egos out in public. It was always been something personal for me to keep my confidence up.
I know I was lost in it, man. I was lost in it. I was hung up on the body, on looks, on you know, muscles, and really just looks. It was all ego based. It was all about looking good and trying to um lust over women and lust over myself and have other people tell me that I look good. That was man, I was so into that for such a long time with when you get into that exercise and lifting a lot of weight and stuff like that, it becomes to where you're like going around waiting for people to be like, "Oh man, you look good. Oh wow, you're that's amazing. Look at you." And I'm glad that I realize now that I was lost in that ego so that way I can see it. So if I do decide to go back and lift heavy again or anything, I won't fall back into that trap.
Yeah, that's a hard trap to get out of. You start setting yourself up for failure majorly with that because you'll get that one person who'll look at you and just say, "Yeah, I'm better looking than you. I'm stronger than you. I'm smarter than you."
And then when you're and on top of it, if you're, using PEDs like what a lot of my friends and I got into, man, it really takes you way out there. Then
Oh
you
yeah,
really get into that deep, deep ego. And you're chasing that feeling because that was the first time that I had ever really used drugs that didn't like make me feel something, but gave me that performance enhancing that changed, my physical capabilities. It was such a different drug than most drugs. Most drugs, you use them and then you feel something, but it takes you down. But these drugs, they were just like I could go further, longer, stronger, grow faster, I mean, I mean, I was lost in it because it gives you that instant gratification. And it's not instant, but it's much quicker, if you know what I mean. Obviously, it's like you can see results really fast and then you get hooked on seeing those results. But it takes you down a path of pure ego. You get so deep into your own ego about it that you get lost in it and everything else. I get lost. I mean, I didn't care. I neglected my family, my wife. I'm out at the bars. I'm out, running around, trying to run with friends all the time. So it really affected my life, I can tell you that.
See, I've never done like performance enhancing, doing workouts. It was one of those. It was just me working out. I personally never cared about anybody else's thoughts. I guess that's what made me different than in a lot of things.
Well, that's
Because
good.
in school, because
Yeah.
like in school, everybody was always about looking good, doing this, playing sports to be popular and things like that. I'm like, I don't give a crap one about any of that. Just get me away from you people.
Yeah. Yeah. No, school was, I was never into the ego in school in that way. I was trying to be like the class clown always in school. I always had to make someone laugh.
I was the quiet one in school. I minded my own business, just did my own thing.
So you already had a lot of God in you already.
Because I really didn't want to be bothered by anybody else. I was the only child, so it was like I never wanted to be bothered by other people
Yeah, I can tell you
ever.
that the class clown trying to be funny backfired on me so many times. It was never worth I didn't ever see it because I still fell into that ego. I need someone to laugh at me, but so many times I would try and be funny and it would just piss people off. It would make me look bad. I looked foolish. Sometimes it didn't, it's always and and it was only because I needed them to, like me. Is all it was. I just needed them to think I was funny. It wasn't even in me. It was I needed them to do it. Even because I knew I was funny, but I had to have them think I was funny. And if I didn't, man, I'm telling you this, when I would tell a joke and it didn't land, that stayed with me for months, man. I would probably still be thinking about that years later sometimes when a situation like that happened.
That's rough. That is rough.
I identified with it so much, man. I identified with having to have those things. So overcoming it is huge when I see it now. It's massive to not need those kind of things anymore. Of course, I stopped really needing to be like a class clown when I became more mature, like, high school. I stopped being that. High school, I got into more of the quiet skater kid, smoking weed and causing trouble type kid than trying to be Mr. Funny Man all the time. So went from one
Yeah,
identity to the other.
yeah. It was me sitting in the back of the classroom with headsets on, listening to Metallica, doing homework. I never wanted to be anywhere near anybody. Didn't want to have conversations with people at all. It was never my cup of tea.
Yeah. Did you have a lot of friends or no? You just
No, I
no.
was basically just self-dependent. If
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out a way to get through it, there was no way to get through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. I was
Because
exactly.
because you can never ask for help when you didn't know how to ask for help. So you just kind of just said, "Fuck it, I'm done." You know?
Yeah. I had to have friends, man. I always had to have somebody there. I had to be around someone. I was always like, man, who's doing? And anytime I wasn't, I, and I'm sure some of you guys can relate this. If you're not with your friends doing something, do you guys ever feel like you're missing out? That FOMO, that intense fear of missing out, that was huge back when I was lost in that, and I needed friends. As soon as I left them, I was scared that I was missing something.
Yeah, that was the positive note on my side. I never had to worry about that thought because it was never there.
Amazing.
Because
Connoisseur
I never cared. I just never cared.
Connoisseur says, when someone talks about you, you defend yourself because it's an attack. People's reputations are as important as a shield was to our ancestors. Um, Now, are you
Yes
saying it
and no.
or that's the way it is, connoisseur? I'm kind of confused. You're right. I'm wondering whether you're saying that's the way it should be or that's just the way it is. I don't, you have to clarify.
I
VSP
think that's
said
just the way it is.
ends.
The way I read it, it was just the way it is. It's just the way
Okay.
life is now.
Do the silent prayer. That can't be stressed enough. Absolutely, Bola. That's why I pinned that in the chat of the Discord, you guys. So the silent prayer was, and I mean, as soon as it's so cool too, because I always, when I tell you guys stuff, it's because I'm practicing it, right? So when I tell you this is work, it's because it's working for me. I don't tell things that don't work for me, right? So that's what I'm always talking about. And so I practice all these things. And so just like today, I put that video of the silent prayer up and it's on YouTube. I posted it on YouTube and I put it in the Discord. And then I immediately went and watched the video and did the silent prayer. Even though I've done it many times, I wanted to do kind of in that moment when everybody else was doing it. I posted it so that way we all kind of went through it together if anybody's done it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it was absolutely amazing sitting out there, being still, knowing God, and just having that connection without having to think or say anything or defend yourself or any of that stuff, you guys. It's amazing. So if you're interested in that, Brian, that's out there if you want to check that out.
I seen that earlier. I seen you post that earlier. I was in the middle of playing some F1 racing when I saw you post that.
Very nice. Is that as good as NASCAR or is it better?
It's not as in depth as NASCAR when it comes to setting your car up, but graphically, it's a little better.
Nice. Is it they're I guess they're easier than the NASCAR because they're stuck to the road a lot more.
Yes and no, because you can screw up your car's downdraft a little bit, uh, and you will slide off the roads in the rain. But yeah, they grip a little better than what NASCAR does.
Yeah,
But
they're
it
like
actually, and be
yeah,
honest with you, it's actually helping me with the street courses on NASCAR because these are street courses. So
that's a
I'm
big
beginning to understand these street courses a little better, more and more playing F1 than I am.
yeah, they don't really have circle tracks on there, do they?
No, it
Yeah.
is straight up just odd driving through cities.
Ken, this is NES for life, brother. It's Brian. Ken knows he's raced NASCAR with us on there. Yeah, you guys, whenever, like I said, we were a gaming channel at start, and because of all the changes, I haven't really been able to game that much lately. So actually, at all lately. But me and
What's
Brian,
up,
we
Ken?
definitely used to get on NASCAR together and race cars and um, other games as well. I think we played Arma together and some other games as well. But and of course, all that's still up on there. So if you guys want to check it out, you of course you can. I always like I tell everybody I don't want to hide anything that we did here on the channel because this journey that we've been on is so deep and so real and natural. And I just want everybody to. I don't want to try and hide anything from anybody. I don't want to think that anybody to think, oh, he's um, that's not him because he had to hide that from us or anything like that. I want you guys to see the journey because it's amazing. Because truly, just as much as anybody else needs God, gamers, people who play video games, people on YouTube, people on the internet, people that are searching on these chats and all these places, man, they are searching for that same thing. And it's not like you have to go out and try and find people looking. I'm telling you, people come to you when they see that you have that love that you're overcoming. They just naturally come, and it's like just such a cool bond and friendship. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be about like preaching or God or talking about the word. It can be just seeing that in someone is just such a calming and relaxing thing. And I've seen that with a lot of people that come in. When you came in, Brian, what did you think, my friend?
When I came into what?
to the channel and stuff, and I don't know how long before you heard me talk about, like, Overcoming or Bond. I know that I've been talking about it always, but I didn't obviously talk about it every stream or anything, so I'm just kinda curious, you've heard me talk about this, and what was your first impressions when you came in and kinda heard that?
Well, like I said, like when I first met you and you was talking about overcoming certain obstacles in life, I'm going, okay, he's a churchgoer. You know, you studied religion, you had things that you was working on. Like I said, I've never judged anybody going to church. Let you do your thing, talk about it. Maybe if it feels better for you to get it out there, let you get it out there in the middle of NASCAR racing. You know what I mean? It was never a thing that I judged anybody on. It was one of those, okay, this guy needs to have a little bit of stress relief. Everybody needs it, just that little bit once in a great while, or just an open ear for someone to
Absolutely,
listen. You
100%.
know, and it was never one of those things I gave it a second thought to,
That's amazing. That's amazing because,
because I
like,
was like going, everybody needs help with something once in a great while. Needs that open ear. Maybe someone outside the circle that doesn't know the situation just needs to hear something.
yeah.
Because one of those once in a great while, an outside opinion doesn't hurt somebody.
Absolutely. And I think, and I don't want to speak for him, but I think that's kind of what happened to Doof. He I was having an issue and just came in and kind of just overheard we were talking about something sometime, and he was just like, "Hey, what are y'all talking about?" He's like, "Well, I'm having this," and then next thing you know, it's like we're in conversation about this kind of stuff, and he was kind of he actually kind of set this in motion, honestly, Doof, because in helping him with what he was looking for, it kind of showed me that, like, hey man, like, you can do this same thing. You can talk to people and guide them back to the Father without making a big deal out of it or acting religious, like crazy religious, or saying, "Oh, you have to go to church," or here's this Bible, read all this scripture, anything like that. You can guide people back to the Father naturally in a perfectly loving way, and it doesn't have to be about all that. And when like I said, when I first started helping him, I was just like, man, it's like he's really overcoming. And it's not even me. It's like God working through me into him, because that's the same way it came to me. It wasn't, the pastor. God was working through him, and through working through him, he came through me. So yeah, and just doing that, it was just like, man, we can really like just talk to people on here. And I know there's a lot of people that are lost on the internet. The internet is a place where so many lost souls come. And that's one of the reasons we do this at night now, the fellowship, because for some reason the nighttime brings out people searching for the answers.
It was
So
like, listening to you and Keith talk in the middle of like racing and playing, like when I was sitting back watching you guys play Daisy and Referger before I started joining you. Listening to you guys talk, it was like, okay, these two are, in the middle of a religious sermon in their own way, trying to figure out something.
yeah.
So I just sat back and listened because I'm thinking that this is not where I step in because like I said, I don't go to church, don't,
Mhm.
you know, I don't study religion, but just to watch the help and the flip of help that has came out of a lot of this being on the outside before becoming a part of this was a big thing watching because it was kind of cool to see this kind of flip from me and Grand Theft Auto, NASCAR, Daisy
Mhm.
to now what you have growing into this,
Yeah. What
and who you helped in the long run
That's
and how
amazing.
you helped them. And I'm saying, and it's amazing when you think you've grown up and you think you matured and you discovered this new idea behind yourself and you just now figuring out that you're still growing, you're still, you know, learning
Absolutely.
out there. It can kind of floor people, which like Doof, Keith, they've gone through their demons.
Yeah.
You've sat right there with them.
I think we like Ace. I think you've probably seen Ace going through some stuff
Yeah,
on.
I've seen Ace go through a few things.
I mean, he's young, man. Helping these kids at this age maybe overcome some of this stuff that they can not have to deal with through life, because they're still just kids. A lot of these people are still just kids. I think it can change lives. That's the reason that we started, really making that shift, is because, man, If we don't, well, and the other thing that happened too was, I had my eyes opened. I always just thought that it was bad stuff coming through YouTube. I always thought it was evil coming through YouTube, television, especially once I started overcoming and like how you were talking, we would talk to each other and I'd be like, man, it's just evil coming through. I could just only see that. And then one day God showed me, he's like, hey, it's evil coming through because that's what you see. Now change the way you look at things so that way you can see the good. And man, I did. And in that, I was like, okay, well, I need to bring that good also. God was willing me to do the same thing and bring good to YouTube because good's there too. If we don't see it and don't bring it, it'll disappear as well. And that was a big change for me with and that shift started. I didn't know it was going to be this extreme. I didn't know it was going to go straight from gaming and having that life to just this now all of a sudden and basically having to give up. But I do know that it says that when you have changes like this, sometimes your life is going to change and there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to go through it. If you don't let it happen and you go back to it, you'll never overcome whatever it is that's happening inside of you right now. So those changes, we just got to let them happen and go through it. And I guess it is what it is. And I don't feel bad about it, but I know a lot of people have said that they're disappointed in somewhat because we had a lot of fun. I know that. We had a great time playing games, doing stuff. NASCAR was always a blast. We had a great time. We laughed. It was great camaraderie. DayZ was the same way. Arma, all of them. I mean, GTA, because our theme has always been laughing and funny. It's not about being like the best at something or trying to prove anything to anybody. It was always about just trying to get with our friends and have like a good time.
And, and you can still do that. And it's astounding that you can still do that.
I do. It's not even that I don't want to, it's just that I find not having the time anymore.
Right. I hear you when you have something that's taken over your channel more than what you have thought it ever would compared to what it was before. Yeah. I guess outside the bubble and everything, I was always taught, I guess, never forget where you started.
Indeed. That is so
Don't ever forget that where you started because you always may have to convert back to that.
absolutely. And I don't wanna lose that because that wasn't the thing I was trying to lose.
No, and it wasn't even the idea that you lost it.
Yeah.
You have just grown
Mhm.
from that.
Yeah. And
You
who
gained a community from that to start this.
I'm always curious of how a lot of the people who were with us from early on, how they feel about that change that slowly happened. And I do know, like what you said, you never were coming to me searching. And so I don't remember ever getting like too in-depth preachy with you or anything, or trying to give you any of that
No,
knowledge. You weren't really
no, I
you
came in to play video games.
yeah, you
I
never
came in
came.
to
I'm sure you
Nope,
heard.
came in to jam with you and play video games. That's
Yeah.
what I came in for.
Yeah, and so, I think that you can see that sometimes we can have those relationships and it doesn't have to be always like this, right? We can
Yeah.
have
Oh yeah.
relationships with people and do different things, and it didn't always have to be that. Even though you may have been getting something from it, you didn't feel the need to, involve in that moment, and because of that, I didn't feel the need to make you become involved with that also. And that's the great friendship. That's actually true friendship is both of us seeing that the other person doesn't need this, so we don't force it on each other.
Yeah, I mean, you did what you thought you had to do with your channel. Your channel was going a different direction. You worked with that instead of fighting against it, and now you're a helping hand to million, or I will say millions of people because who knows how many people actually watch your videos.
Yeah, that's amazing, brother. I appreciate that. Even if it's one though, right? Even if we just
Right.
help, that's
But
absolutely amazing, man.
yeah, and like I said, I came in wanting to play video games.
Yeah.
That's all I came in for. Was looking for some guys to play video games with, hang out, bullshit with, and chill.
Hmm.
And once in a great while, you had to have that moment of sitting back, helping someone do something, cope with something. By all means, video games is the way I used to cope with a lot of things. It took my mind off of everything.
Absolutely.
That was my overcoming, I guess, is how you if you wanna look at it as what it is. But
And
yeah, it is just like and then to this day, it's the same way. I'm always using video games to overcome because it just clears my mind. I'll get
mhm,
in the middle of NASCAR and totally forget about the crap day I've had.
yep. I think that it's important to show people that they can have stuff like play because what I think a lot of people do, and this is actually a conversation I had with a gentleman one time. He came in when the fellowship first started, when I first started converting to just fellowshipping, and he came in and he said, hey man, the message is great. And I was just talking to him, we were chatting. And I said, and I told him, I was like, he's like, I'm glad to see that it's so serious around here. And I had to tell him, I had to say, well, although we're talking serious right now, we have a great time in here and we joke and we laugh. And I didn't know that it wasn't gonna be playing games. So I told him, I was like, we play games, we do all this stuff. And he told me, he said, well, when I found God, I put away my childish things. And so I don't really get into that stuff. And I told him, I was like, hey, man, I completely understand, but I don't want to mislead you to think that this is that serious, holy Bible thumper style where we do nothing but preach scripture and we don't have laugh and funny and like people are going to come in here and cuss and stuff like that. So if you have an issue and you have a problem with any of that, then I just want to be open with you. And he's never been back, but I saw that what he perceived as childish, immature things, I was able to see that um, that it's only if you identify with it, that if you have to have that and you have to become that, then you fall into the imagination with it. But if you can go and play video games and it's not you, you don't have to be like, oh, I play video games. So that way, if it's taken away from you, it won't affect you at all. There's absolutely nothing wrong. It's not immature. It's not childish. It has nothing to do with that. Children are immature. The imagination is what God was speaking of when he wanted you to overcome. When he said, put away your childish things, he meant the imagination, falling away from him, stay present, stop going into the imagination and not being present. I'm sure you can be present while playing a game. You can be
Oh, yeah.
right there. You don't have to fall away from God. You don't have to, but people get that impression. And that's what that guy got from that. And it's totally okay. Like I told him, hey man, you do you. I completely understand. But him just telling me that showed me that there was nothing wrong with it, with what we were doing.
Yeah,
It's
to me, it was always to me, video games was always cheaper than going to therapy. I can always just
we're going out to the bar,
yeah. Yeah, I'm
right?
thinking drinking my shit away. I'm thinking, "No, dude, I can just stay here, play game, chill
Absolutely.
out, close my mind off to the world for, however long it takes, and then move on with my day after that."
Yeah.
Because I've come home from work in a shit mood, and I'll sit down and play a game of, Madden. I'll play a game of Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and just, get that frustration out of me before I do anything.
Mhm. Yeah, and I'd say it's fine. What would you do if, um my wife just said the trash man's here. At 11 o'clock at night, the trash man just showed up at our house. What the you
That's the city working for you.
trash man ever show up at 11 o'clock at your house?
Oh, I'm sure if he did, he'd be in a world of hurt because there's a lot of people who sleep. So,
Yeah. Well, thank goodness we're way out in the country, so I'm not worried about it. But I just think it's funny that he's out. Something must have happened. He must have had a breakdown or something. He had to finish his run or something. That's not normal. So, but yeah, no, that's
but if I didn't have video games to deal with the stress and things like that, I used to write like in a notebook of everything that bothered me to get it off my mind. It was always easier to write it all down, and I can just write up that piece of paper and throw it away.
yeah,
It's cleared. It's done. It's over.
that's nice.
It never. I never rely on video games or anything like that. I used to write a lot. I read a lot of books, and it was one of those. It was just video games was just something fun to do,
Hmm.
and it's still kind of that thing for me. I'll come home, take the dog out, do my things around the house, and then I'll sit back and chill, play a little NASCAR, play a little football, do something, and then it'd be like 30 minutes to an hour of me playing, and then I'm off of it for the rest of the day. It's like that's just all I needed was an hour just to myself to clear my thoughts and then move on with my day.
Yeah. And I mean, it's absolutely perfect as long as if something were to happen and you weren't able to do it, you could still just overcome it. As long as you're still good with that, then there's nothing wrong with doing
Yeah,
that.
like I said, I can sit down and write in a notebook all night.
And that is very similar. I mean, writing it down is almost just like the same thing as just seeing it for what it is and letting it go. It's
Yeah,
just,
just throwing it away.
yeah, it's just like it's just a visual. It's almost like what would you call it? You would call it like a representation of it.
It's almost like I'm clearing my mind after I throw it away, thinking, okay, I just threw that away. I don't even have to deal with it no more. It's gone. It's in the trash.
Same thing, except instead of writing it down, I just see it and I do the exact same thing. I just let it go immediately. Done. Don't think about it one more. It's identical except for the writing it down part. And like I said, I think that's symbolic is the word that I was looking for. I think the writing it down is symbolic of that exact thing.
That's always the way I was when I was younger. I always handled everything was just writing it all down.
That's nice. Like a journal style.
Yeah, almost. And it was just one of those. I would write down whatever it was bothering me that day, tear it out of the notebook, and throw it in the trash. Never look at it again. Never kept it. Never had to go
Nice.
back to it. Never had to revert to it.
Yeah,
Nothing.
absolutely. Have you thought, and especially if you dropped it right then, I mean, that's deep. If you could take that and you had a problem and you could just write it down, wad it up and throw it away, and then that thought never crossed your mind again, that's deep.
Yeah, it was always the way it was just shut it off. It was like one of those, just like I had to visually see myself throw that thought away, so I knew it would never come back to bother me again when I was younger.
Yeah,
Now I hide behind a video game and do the same thing for about an hour, and then it's gone.
amazing. So, how do you guys get along? How does your wife feel? Like you don't go to church with her or anything, I guess.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Is she good with that? She's made peace with that, I take it, because
No, not as easy. No, she has mentioned to me that she would like for me, like when I get a Sunday off, I should go to church with her because I don't get a Sunday off every Sunday. I have to request them off. So when I do, I get them off. She would like for me to join her to go to church,
hmm,
but I normally tell her no, I'm not going. It's not my thing.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it hasn't set well with her yet, and I never will force it to set well with her. I
Yeah.
understand what she's trying to do.
Yeah.
I get it. It's all in good.
Yeah. And
She's
truly,
not.
she should,
She's
if she has a feeling about you not going, I agree with you. She needs to overcome that feeling as well.
and then it's not like she's trying to shove it down my throat or anything like that. I think she just wants more. I think she. I think either it's more of the idea she wants to spend more time with me and go to church, support her because she sings with the praise team and things like that. I think she just wanted me to go to support her, and I have no problem with that. I should quit being stubborn and
Yeah.
go to church, support her and her beliefs, and be
You,
okay with that
you don't
because
think
she
she,
doesn't shove it down my throat.
yeah, you don't think she just wants your soul saved?
No, it ain't even that. I think she just wants. I think she wants a little bit more support than what I show her when it
Does
comes to church.
does she feel that you guys will be going to the same place? Does she feel that you've done enough to be one with God?
I don't think so because I don't think I've done enough to be one with God. So I don't think she thinks I. To be honest with it, I wouldn't blame her because she knows what I've done in my past,
Mhm.
and I've never asked for forgiveness,
Mm.
and I don't think I ever will. So
Well,
it's one of those that she understands my way, my frame of thought, and I understand her frame of thought. That's why I support her going to church.
yeah.
I support what she does because I don't. I rather her be taken care of than me.
Hmm.
I'm more worried about her than I am me because I can handle a lot more than she can
Hmm.
emotionally, mentally. So I'd rather her be saved, have her way with God, be closer to Him, do her thing with Him, and everything else. And she just lets me cope with way for the way I need to cope with it.
Hmm.
But it doesn't stop her from wanting me to come to church with her. which it makes sense because she wants that support. She probably needs that little bit more support once in a great while, and I should probably give it to her. But I
Yeah.
don't, like I said, I just look at it as me going to church, just not a thing.
Yeah.
So
What what happens usually when you go to church? What goes through your mind or your feelings when you're sitting there? Is it constantly thinking you're ready to get out of there?
no, it's just I don't belong.
Mhm.
This is one of those I don't belong. I don't belong in that building.
And do you think that's just though because you're judging yourself again?
It could be, and it could be a number of things. It just me. I guess it's just me looking at myself, going, "Okay, I've done some sinful crap in my life. I've never asked for forgiveness yet. I don't belong here
Yeah.
because I
Um,
have not accepted Him into my heart like everybody else has. So I'm not doing Him any justice by me just sitting in this building."
yeah. You do know though that it says that you need to go and forgive to be forgiven, not ask for it.
Yeah, and that's where I'm just kind of like, that's why I don't. That's why I don't do that. That's why I'm
How
not there.
how is your
I have
relationship?
I haven't gone to forgive to people who have done the stuff for me,
Mm,
and I haven't asked for the forgiveness either.
yeah.
So it's one of those. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. If you go and forgive, you won't have to ask for it. God will sit and he'll forgive you. But how is
Yeah.
your relationship with your parents?
Oh, my relationship with my parents are just fine. Both of them. My dad passed away when I was 9, but my relationship with him was just fine.
Good.
He was a churchgoer. My mom was a churchgoer for a while.
Nice.
So, I mean, my relationship with the parents was just fine. It was just me having, they gave me the choice to either go to church or not go to church. They never forced religion on me. They
And
let it always be my decision.
your mother's still with us?
Yes, my mother is still with me.
Amazing. And you guys have a good relationship.
Yes.
Nice. And you said that though you haven't forgiven her.
Yeah, I haven't forgiven nobody ever.
Uh, is there a reason you haven't forgiven her?
No.
Um,
No. No,
well,
and then because I don't think in my head there's anything for me to forgive her for, because she hasn't done anything to me for her to forgive.
so deep, brother. I've
So
heard.
it's one of those, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. It
uh,
could be, I think it's a personal vendetta with me and religion for taking, either them taking my dad away from me too early, and I haven't forgiven him for that, or it's just me not willing to accept the idea that I need to open myself up to God and let this happen.
yeah.
So therefore, I'm just kind of stuck in this middle loophole and a revolving door
Mm,
and coping with it.
uh,
And
yeah.
I've accepted where I'm at. Like
Yeah.
I said, I've accepted where I'm at. I'm accepting where I'm going to go. I'm not fighting against anybody, but I understand what my wife's trying to do. I think she's trying to save me. I think she's trying to slowly hint that she's trying to help me, and I'm just looking at her going, "No, I don't need the help. I've been the only child. I've always been relying on myself. I can figure this out on my own."
Yeah, I would even be
Therefore, and that, I guess that's the stubbornness in me.
yeah, I would be willing to say that it's not even her trying to save you, it's God, he's just working through her, and
Well, it's
he's
not working yet.
yeah,
So, I mean,
and that's okay, but that's through you, but maybe it's just one of those things where you'll see, at some point you'll see, and then that'll be your moment, and nobody can know when that moment is, that's between you and God, so nobody can decide that moment for you, but I will say that I do 100% know that the reason you need to forgive both your mother and your father for sure is because of that anger, and that even though it's not like your mother made you and she may have made you mad. I'm sure that when you were young, she said something where, you got
I
aggravated or
mean,
something.
yeah, it's a typical parent thing between a parent and kid.
Yeah, exactly. But it's even deeper than that. It's just knowing that that spirit of anger that we have comes from that. It's transferred through the mother into us, and it's our father. And the reason that you have that issue with your father is because and I know it was just a small time that you had him, but he was supposed to guide you out of that spirit of anger. He was the way that you return to the Father in heaven is through your Father on earth. And he does that by teaching you how to live right and how to love right, have that perfect love like God's love. And our fathers don't do that. It's not just you. I'm saying no fathers do that anymore. I mean, like the world is lost, right? You see that I didn't do it. I messed up with my kids. I had to go and apologize to them because I did it. I was lost in the ego. All people, and it's the same story of Adam and Eve. That story of Adam and Eve. Eve made Satan her God. Adam made Eve his God, and the cycle continues. And every single parent to this day has done that same thing. And when you go and forgive, God will see that you've done that, and then He can forgive you. But you must see that you're wrong for having that anger inside of you, seeing where it comes from, so that way you can go and forgive. And then, like I said, the rest is just giving it to God, man. There's nothing else to it except for believing, which you already have the faith. If you know that you believe in Jesus, you know what He did, and you know that you need to overcome it. That's it, man. So I'll just say that if you do decide to, it can really advance you spiritually if you're ready to overcome. When that time comes, and I know with your dad, you'll just have to do it in your head. I mean, that's what we have to deal with. I had to do the same. Was deceased already, so we just have to make peace with that. But your mom, if you go and face her, even though it's gonna be tough, you're gonna shake in your boots over it. I know because I did it too. It's very difficult, especially when we don't think our mothers are bad people, and you can tell her that. You know that she did her best. It's not about that. It's not thinking that, oh, she tried to do something to me. It's just that everybody fails. It's something that everybody goes through, and we all must forgive. And that's the secret to everything right there. Go and forgive. God will forgive you, and it's done, man. It's over. After that, the only thing you have to watch after that is Satan's going to tell you a million times you didn't do it right. Yo, you didn't truly forgive in your heart. Look at you. You're still angry. Look at you. It's a trick. God will be working with you that whole time. You just must see that Satan's trying to trick you so that way you don't fall into that thought. Because, like I said, even today, still, and I've been working on myself for years now, but I can tell you that if I had listened to the thoughts, me and David would still be going back and forth in Discord. It would not have stopped because I would not have been able to. I would have had to defend myself, just like what we're saying here over and over again. I would have had to defend myself over and over again. So, anyway, I like telling everybody we're friends. And so, just like I tell everybody else, I just tell you the same thing that when the time comes, if you're ready to, brother, that's as simple as it is. And don't worry about what your mom says or thinks. It's not for her, it's for you. It frees you. But I will tell you that when she sees it, I've seen many times that parents then go and do the same thing. They see what was going on, and then they are able to forgive after that too. And it's a beautiful cycle that can happen. So
Yeah, I hear you.
is your
I'm
wife
sure that time. I'm sure that time's going to come. And when it does, I'll. It'd be that. I guess when the timing's right, it'll happen.
have you ever talked to your wife about what kind of happened here with everything? Does she know about the change on the channel and all this what's going on?
Oh yeah, she's witnessed it
Yeah.
between us playing. She be on sitting on the couch. She'll hear our conversations,
Yeah. How does she
and
feel about that?
she actually she agreed with a lot of like the overcoming, how to deal and cope,
Yeah.
and how to she understands where you're coming from with your overcoming idea of the fellowship to help overcome situations, how to forgive, how to forget, how to move on with your life. Don't let things hang over your head. And
Absolutely.
she agrees with all that. But at
Nice.
the same time, she kind of chuckles underneath her breath because she knows how I am, and she goes, "Yeah, it's a stubborn mule. He's a jackass. He'll do things his way, and then when he figures out it's not working, then he'll come back
Yeah.
over here and start figuring it out the way you originally supposed to." So she's just letting me buy my time.
Yeah, absolutely. Does she think that it's amazing that you are friends with a group of guys that are going through that though?
Yeah, she actually is. She actually goes, I can't believe that you actually are sitting around talking to people and playing games with people and bullshitting with people when they're going overcoming, talking about God, religion, and you don't get frustrated. I said no, because they're not forcing this on me.
Yeah. Isn't that deep?
There's a difference when you don't go to church and you feel like you're being pressured into doing something
Mhm.
and reading something, and it is just to be a normal conversation. And just having decent conversation with people and letting things happen, just let it happen without dictating the future or how it's supposed to be.
That's amazing.
Because, religion has this thing about wanting to dictate how your life is supposed to be, how you're supposed to think.
Absolutely.
And, and I said that's the difference between what I guess you're going through and what this is going through is that the church is telling you you need to think this and read this and understand this. I said the overcoming part of this is just us discussing ways we could overcome this, how to open ourselves up and become peace with ourselves to make a better life in the future without reading a book and not being forced into doing anything.
Hmm. Yeah. And
So I said it's a different beast, but she understands it. But she's one of those like if it helps you, then do it. Like she supports it.
nice.
She goes, it's just a messed up way about how you did it by playing video games to get to that point. She
So
goes,
cool.
she goes, that's what aggravates me the most is that it's the simple thing that you play in NASCAR. You're
Yeah.
playing a redneck sport and shooting the shit with the guys and becomes this. I said, well, things happen. There's a reason why this path is here.
Yeah. That's so
And
cool.
and I go, and he's taken off with it and it's growing with him. And he's has these people following him and talking to him and everything else. So I mean he's doing what he needs to do.
That's amazing, man. That's so cool. Does and I mean too, if she ever wants to come on and talk to us on here about, her faith and what's going on with her, I'm more than happy. It'd be absolutely amazing. It's so rare that we get to talk to women who are overcoming.
She's overcame a lot in the 19 years that we've been married. I watched her grow up. She lost both of her. Well, okay, she was adopted. She lost her biological mom due to a drug overdose, and her grandparents are the ones who adopted her, and they both passed away to natural causes and Alzheimer's. And she's overcome a lot of the hate, the sadness. She's forgiven a lot over the years of the lost ones that she's lost. She's had easier times talking to people about it now. So she's grown tremendously over the 20 years that we've
Yeah.
been married.
Yeah.
So
Is very hard to deal with because of our selfish human nature. We cannot handle losing somebody. It is so hard on people to lose somebody, even though if you have faith, you know that returning to the Father, there can't be anything better than that.
I
And
think
but
that
that it's
and
very
she quit going to church there for a while. I think she lost her faith there for a while. And I just let her kind of deal with that for herself. And when she started talking about going back to church, I said, find you a church that you feel comfortable in, that you feel like you're accepted, and then go.
yeah,
No one's ever going to say anything to you about it. Just go.
that's
Well, it comes to find out the church that me and her got married in got donated to a different religion and they remodeled the church. And she's now going to that church. So it's the same church we got married in. It's now under a new congregation, a new religion than what we got married in,
yeah,
which is kind of cool, which is, kind of that closing door for her because she was baptized at that church under her old faith and everything. So it's kind of a new start, a closing of the old story, beginning of a new one for her in the same building. So she gets to have a full circle of life when it comes to her faith.
that's awesome. And what denomination is it? Do you know?
She was a Methodist before the church closed because they lost their congregation to like old age and like
Mm,
the seniors couldn't make it in. Now it's Strong Tower Baptist.
okay. Interesting. Are those kind of are they in alignment or are they way different?
They're kind of way different compared because you know I can't really break it down much because like again I've never gone to churches with her much.
I
So, but I know it's kind of a different beast between the two because she's learning now new about the Baptists. She's studying. She's got like study guides and things like that. She goes to a Bible study school once a night, once Monday, like a couple of Mondays a month to help her learn to study. So I
Mhm.
mean, she's learning it. So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool watching her grow into it.
Hmm. I know that I don't
So
know about the Methodists, but I do know that the Baptists are pretty harsh on um like repentance, like really being very strict, a very strict. I could be off, but
now I haven't gotten that from her church, but you could be right.
I think
Her
that's a
church is kind. I say her church is kind of laid back.
okay. Well, I've heard that about strong Southern Baptist churches that they were very, very, like biblically punishing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you,
see, I haven't seen anything like that with her church.
it may be an old thing. And again, I'm not into churches or religion like that. So these things I just
Yeah,
see.
say the few times I've gone to church with her, I haven't gotten that feeling from that church.
And who knows? Maybe that's just something from the past that isn't the same as it was
Did I
anymore.
mean? Yeah, I mean, you have to think of how religion gotten started back in the day. It was a scare tactic. So
Absolutely, 100%. And that's again one of the reasons I stay out of religion is because um, religion will have you fighting another religion. Religions, they don't know how to love everyone. They get into that how we're all right and everybody else is wrong, and so that's personally why I don't get into it. Now, I think you can go and have religion and not have any of that in your heart. Obviously, that's but I think you just see that so many people end up hating someone else because of religion. I think that's very dangerous.
see, I'm kind of when I told my wife, and it's kind of a bad joke, but I told her I said when the end of time comes, I hope Jesus comes down and tells us what religion had it right and which one did not.
Mm, mm.
I go, I wonder which one he understood that was the right way to go and which one wasn't. Even
I
though all these religions are taking you to the exact same spot and a different path,
Yeah. God's not gonna
just
say
wonder.
any religion's right because it's not the religion. The religion is from the person. That's a people thing. Humans are into religion. God, he's just gonna tell you, man, follow the teachings of Christ.
That's why I said I've always wondered which one was going to be the right one.
God's not into
Like
religion. No religion. God, that's the religion. God. Just worship God, and then whatever religion you go to, just know that that's just another identity. And as long as you don't identify with it, you'll be fine there too. Won't even
yeah,
matter.
yeah. She goes because she was always asking which one of us has got it right. I said it's never going to be a hard tale the story. You're never going to know. I
Everybody
said
who,
I
yeah,
said, as long as you get to as long as you get to paradise the way you want to get to paradise, it's all that should matter. But
yep.
yeah,
Everybody who puts God number one and nothing else above him, all will return to the kingdom. But those ones that put ego and pride and all that other stuff ahead of him will never know God. So it's all, and you don't know that. You can go to a church and the pastor can be up there preaching. Oh man, they can be raising holy hands, make you feel so good, know every script in the Bible, and then they go and they hate people. They go and they have anger. They you don't know. We cannot know what's in the hearts of men. So we must go and we must not put our faith in man, but in God.
yeah. Where I work, I've got some coworkers who refuse to talk to me because their religion tells them that tattoos are sinful.
That's
So they
crazy.
don't. Yeah, they don't have conversations with me, which is fine. I mean, I don't force anything on the people. If that's what their faith is telling them, I back it up 100%. That is not one of those I question. I just shake my head wondering how in the world can you walk around judging people when you don't know the person behind the skin?
Yeah, absolutely. That's Christians for you, man. Unfortunately, that's a thing. Christian and Catholic, and they're so judgmental. Sorry, Land. This is NES for life, also known as Brian Land. He's been in the chat many, many times, brother, and he's been on the channel for a long time, part of the channel. So, but oh yeah, just yeah, you can't know, and just like even your friends and your neighbors in there, and that's one of the reasons that I align with you and that I never fit in any church. I never felt, not one time did I ever feel a connection. And when you look around and all these people, you think they're all getting the connection. The only thing I could ever see from that was what's wrong with me. Something's wrong with me where I'm not getting this because all these people get it and I don't.
Yeah, see, I guess I always told myself if I walk into a church and it feels like home, I know that's where I needed to be. But
Yeah.
I've never walked into a building and felt that way ever.
And you know what? We do that to ourselves by having that expectation. We
Well,
expect to feeling from it, and that's why and that's also a bad thing because then when you do go and you do get a feeling, sometimes we'll get tricked into it and we'll go after that feeling and we won't actually look and say, "Okay, wait a minute, this isn't right for me. This was all
that's
based on emotion."
and, that's kind of tough because that's probably one of the few places you should have the feeling of being welcomed
Mm,
is
yeah,
a church. And if you
yep,
don't get that feeling, you just don't get that feeling, and
yeah.
that's sad.
It is because you'll miss out on that opportunity to return to God in that moment. He's
Yeah,
speaking of the reason you're going to the church.
yeah, that's what I'm meaning. It's just like, it's when you don't feel like you're part of a community or that community, you feel like you're the outcast. There's no sense of you going.
Oh, yeah,
And
and then that just
and I
puts
think that's where I sit a lot of times sitting in a church. I feel like I'm the outcast, sitting
yeah,
there wondering why I'm here. I don't belong in this place.
and then it makes you feel
And
you're aligned with the other side. It makes you feel like there's like God doesn't want you or that you are aligned with evil or all these things go through your head because you don't understand why you can't feel what everybody else is feeling.
and it could be me not opening myself up either, and I don't blame other people for that. I've shut myself down a lot. I put walls up tremendously, consistently,
And
and in shutting the world off, I hope people hear this and understand this message. I'm the last person who should criticize someone for doing this, but this is a learning experience. Do not ever yourself off from the world. You're keeping yourself from learning anything that you can help you move forward or grow up. Open yourself up to new possibilities. Never shut yourself down. I've I am going to be 46 years old. I have not yet been able to fully open myself up to the point I can trust somebody except for my wife.
mhm.
And I have probably missed out on some fantastic opportunities in other ways because I'm keeping myself in this cocoon of protection to where I know I won't get hurt, be bothered, or anything else. But everybody, listen, it's not worth it. Get out there, talk to people, learn from people. Even if you disagree with them, learn their vision, understand their views. Maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you'll gain something from that view. But never, ever shut yourself off from other people. Ever.
Yeah, and a lot of times we feel like, an embarrassment that will do that to us. If we feel embarrassed, that keeps us from letting go of that. It'll keep us from associating with people because we're scared that what we say or how we act or how we looked is going to it's going to embarrass us.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a lot of people, image is a big reason why a lot of people shut themselves off from the world. It could be less than and a lot of this country really is bad about it is image. We're basing ourselves off a lot of images in this country.
Oh, absolutely. Material.
We're setting standards that we shouldn't be setting.
Hmm.
If you can't be comfortable in your own skin, I'm sorry. I don't know, nobody can help you with that. There's
Yeah.
no help for that.
And that's all part of overcoming is seeing that you are perfect just the way you are, and that no matter what anybody else thinks, it does not matter. It does not change a thing.
And it's just sad that the society is to a point of bullying people to think that, and you can't fight that. More people are worried about the image than they are themselves. And it's
Absolutely.
sad. There's businesses out there who are exactly like that. They're more worried about the image than they are the quality of the person.
And that aligns with what we're talking about. Why do you defend yourself? That is another reason. That's another identity of why you defend yourself is because we want that image of ourselves. We want that person to see the image we want them to see.
But yeah, it's been a rough road for me, not, fully giving myself into the world like a lot of other people can. See, I couldn't even start a YouTube channel like you and do this. There's no way. I know I can't. There's absolutely no way.
Well,
And
I'd
I sit here and and that's why I give you all the praise in the world for doing what you do and how you converted over so fast without missing a beat with people.
yeah.
From being video games to doing this without missing a beat.
Mm,
And it's like, and there's a part of me that's always, man, if there was a way I could actually do that and not feel uncomfortable in my own skin for doing it,
mhm.
but I am not one for leading people down a path. I am the last person in the world that don't need to be doing that.
Yeah.
Because
I
I feel like sometimes I sitting there going, man, if I ever ran a church or a religion, I feel like I'm like, drink the Kool Aid.
mhm.
You're going to be meeting the mothership here soon. You know what I mean? Because
Absolutely, and I
I
completely
couldn't do that.
yeah, I completely understand because when I was overcoming like that this journey that I've been on, which I even started before the channel, see, because I think basically about 3 years now I've been overcoming that spirit. So when I first started overcoming it, it was like um, you can see that that journey slowly it pieces together. It's not something that happens immediately. And then but then when you get there, you get there. There is no it's like once you're there, you are there, you see it, God has given you that ability to see it, and then it's just constantly staying with it. There is very seldom is it something different than now, like what we talk about here. It's like we're on repeat now. We are literally on repeat. We are to the point where um we do a lot of the same things over again because the truth doesn't change. So it's a lot of that same the same stuff and we go over the same stuff. The truth never changes. So once you get to that point, it totally changes you. But getting to that point is like what you're going through. It's very difficult to overcome that and to see and just like this with embarrassment, man, if I hadn't overcome embarrassment, I'll tell you right now, I'd have quit a long time ago. People have said some of the most just like horrible, awful things, call me all kinds of names, tell me, that so often that I'm wrong and I'm this and I'm that. And most people would be just extremely embarrassed by that, especially in front of all the people in here. But I want it. That's where that change came in for me is now I seek that. I want to know that nobody can hurt me. I want the embarrassment. Go ahead and call me names, you guys. Give me everything you have because this is all part of overcoming for me now. It started with this journey of just like overcoming so I could return to God. And now it's become like, a mantra for life. Like every single thing I must overcome because it's all about God now. It's not even about me anymore. And each one of those things I have to make sure. And so now it became a beautiful thing. This is absolutely fantastic. That's why I tell everybody that it's good for me because people come in here and keep me honest, man. They make sure that I'm not falling into the ego again with this stuff. Every day it happens. Every day someone comes in here and tests me, and it is absolutely perfect. And now I live for those moments, but it does. Like what you're going through right now, what you're talking about, I never thought I would be here when I was in that place. You don't see it. You never see where you're going because you have that expectation of what something is or isn't. And so until we let go of that expectation to where we don't think anything about it, we just hold ourselves back.
Now, what the crazy part is being the outside person coming in and introducing myself to you to play video games and watching and talking to you and listening to you guys talk in the middle of NASCAR racing or whatever it is that we was doing or just sitting on PlayStation shooting the shit. Being on the outside, I got to watch you change. It was kind of cool watching it happen because I
Yeah.
couldn't say that it's changing because you wouldn't have believed me.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, it is like this channel is converting and he hasn't seen it yet, but I'm fully seeing this picture. But I can't tell him I'm seeing this picture because it's hard for me to explain it to you without you being able to visualize what's happening.
That's
Because I'm
amazing.
going, because he's like, because you can have someone walk up to you and say, hey, listen, you're going to go from playing video games on YouTube to being a person to help people overcome. And you'd be like, oh, bullshit, shut up, move on with your life, leave me alone.
Oh yeah.
And then, like, within, like you said, a year, and all of a sudden, boom, here you are. You're on YouTube from playing video games over to converting people and helping people with overcoming
Yep.
everything in their life. You
Absolutely.
probably never in a million years thought this was
Yep.
going to be what it was going to be. And I'm thinking
Definitely.
in my head, I'm going, now sitting back as you was sitting there saying that, sitting going, man, I watched him convert this channel over.
Yep.
Said, holy shit! If I could have told him that this was going to be what this was going to be, he would call me a liar.
Yep.
He would have looked at me and laughed in my face. He would have told me to shut up and move on with my day
Yep. But
until it happened.
you saw.
I saw the full image of this happening as I was sitting there playing games with you guys.
Man, that's deep.
And I figured, and I actually thought Keith would be more part of the move over to overcoming than the what he has, because you guys had that podcast channel.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where it started. I think that's in my head. That's where it started. It was that
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when
And
we
I'm sitting there going,
talking about
okay,
it.
I get what he's trying to do. He is playing video games to have fun with his buddies, and then he's got this side of him that he wants to help overcome. Well, the overcome became more part of that than the video game world did. So yeah, I was sitting there going, yeah, the podcast is moving over to now full time YouTube. So
Absolutely.
there's no more podcast.
Yeah.
So
Well, the reason that Keith isn't involved, I think you're right. He would have been way more involved, but his change at work, which coincided with this coincidentally, like perfectly with the whole video game and the change of my life. So, because I can't even imagine what Keith would be going through if we weren't playing games every night and he was off, trying to play games at night like we used to. But he had that whole change at work. So now he works day shift. It's totally different for him. He's not available to play hardly at all. It takes up almost all of his time now between work. Because before, when he worked all night, he was able to come home after work and then like everybody's asleep. So he has all this time to do whatever he wants. Well, now when he comes home from work, it's like dinner time, get the kids down, get them to bed. And then by the time he's done with that, he's got to go to bed. So
yeah,
he didn't have that availability anymore. So it's very interesting that it could be just coincidence that it was coincided like that, but his life is being fulfilled also, and not by being a part of this, but by working on himself in that same way. He's going through a
right.
whole transition himself too, which is absolutely amazing. And I see it every day with him because we still talk all the time and everything. And he comes in here as much as he can, so he's still a part of it. But for sure, I can tell you without a doubt, because we've been friends for a long time, Keith is overcoming. He is absolutely going through that same journey, and it's amazing. But he's in that same phase that I got into, which was just be with yourself for a little bit, be with yourself and get it, and then you can come back and start talking to people about it and things. Because I can tell you what happened to me was is that when I first started overcoming, it was so amazing. I thought I had to tell everybody. I ran to everybody I could find and be like, hey man, check this out, look at this, trust me, you need this in your life, right? Well, nobody accepted it, man. It was like, because I had just found it, I guess, nobody had that faith in what it was, and so they just rejected it. They rejected it, they rejected me, and in fact, most people just kind of, like, made fun of me and kinda blew it off. So, I realized that you can't give that to people. When God gives you that gift, it's for you. It's for you alone, and you have to go and be with it. Now, once you fix yourself, then you can start giving it to people with that perfect love. And that was that change that happened. And that happened right about the time that, probably a few months after the channel was started, I was really able to see that that change was happening. And so I could start talking about it more. And I still didn't talk about it a whole lot at first because I felt it was dangerous. I thought talking about it a whole lot would put me in that spot where the same thing happened and people just wouldn't believe me. And then when they don't believe me, that brings out anger in me. It would be that cycle of or embarrassment or shame or all these things that would happen whenever nothing should happen. Who cares if they believe me or not, right? But I was still lost in that moment. But I knew what was happening, so I just stuck with it. And in that time, it was just given to me the difference of saying, "Hey, now you see it doesn't matter. And now I know who to talk to and who not to talk to. And because I don't talk to people who don't come to me to talk about it." That's kind of why we changed the channel. So that way people can now come here and now they know they're getting that instead of me trying to do other stuff and then feed that in between. Although it was very well accepted, especially once I overcame and I knew how to talk to people properly and love people properly is the main thing. It became very easy. But during that time where it was in between, it was difficult to have both, to have this life of friends and ego and gaming and get into this deep, but then still be able to say, hey, but make sure you come over there. But it was just in me. It wasn't in other people. That was in me. And that's all part of the journey. That's all part of overcoming. And once you see, and that's kind of what you're going through right now, I feel like you're starting to. It's a slow process. You can't have any expectation on the time. If you think that it's taking too long, you're not going to do it. You're gonna be like, "Oh, like, this should have happened already," and you'll give up. You have to have no expectation what's gonna happen, when it's gonna happen. That's how it worked for me. I stopped expecting it, and it happened naturally. That's why when you say that, like, you couldn't have planned this, you're right. I wasn't even thinking about this. This happened so naturally, it even blew my mind. I thought, "What in the world is going on?" My wife is a she was like she's like, "Are you is this really happening right now?" I mean, she was blown away by that change, but it just happened so naturally. I just went with it. And when you give in to thinking you're in control like that, it's been the most fantastic, perfect, beautiful experience without me even trying. It's so good.
Yeah, you did a hell of a job doing it. I have to give you that. I mean, it was like butter for you. You made it smooth.
And
You made
God,
that transition smooth as hell.
it's all God, man. It is not me, but it is the Father who works through me. And by the grace of God, He gave me that ability. So I don't even take credit for it, man. But
You
either way,
should take a little bit of credit. You should give yourself a pat on the back for what you've done for people.
well,
You should. You should
either
never, like you said, you doubt. Like you told me, I'm doubting myself. You're doubting yourself right then and there. You're
I
not
know.
giving yourself enough credit to for what you've helped Keith,
Yeah,
Doof, and Ace go
yeah.
through. You've done that. You've helped them. You, you
True.
helped them.
You see, though,
They had trust in you. You have to
yeah.
understand that they had trust in you.
I agree completely. I do see exactly what you're saying, but I just know now that it wasn't even me because I gave in to that too. So I let go of that and I gave it. But had I not done that, you're right. I couldn't have given it to him. Had we not, if we don't let go ourselves, then we will prevent that from happening. And I had to let that go. So yeah, in that way, you're right. I had to get to that level to allow myself to let that pass through me, but I'm still not taking credit for it because I know who actually did it for me. It really is not it truly isn't me because if I was still myself, Brian, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'd still be in the ego, man. Had I not given it all to God, I would still be thinking I'm this and I'm that, and it just grows, man. That identity just keeps going and going. So although I do understand what you're saying, and you are right. Had I not overcome and did that, I couldn't have given it to anybody else. So, so true.
Yeah, as I say, don't sell yourself so short. Don't worry about the ego part of this conversation. This isn't ego. This is you accomplishing a goal that you never knew you had set,
Yeah,
and now you're hammering it tenfold.
that's true.
So
Yeah.
you have to kind of let the ego word out of this conversation because you patting yourself on the back's not an ego. It's more of a okay. I know I'm out here to help people. I have figured out the purpose that God gave me. You have done it.
You back? Did I lose you?
Nope, you're right there.
Okay, well, I lost your sound. I'm gonna reset my app real quick. Hold on, I'll be right back. What about now?
Are you there?
I'm there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, yep, we're back. Got it back.
All
Now,
right. Yeah. Say don't sell yourself short because you're worried about that word ego. Don't. Yeah. This isn't an ego thing. This is you. You know, setting yourself up for success and helping other people do the exact same thing. You have opened yourself up to make it easier for other people to trust in you to come to you and ask for help. You not I can understand why you're giving credit to God. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't. but you need to understand that you should give yourself some credit too, because you could have ignored the message from God and moved on with your life.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's absolutely true. We must see.
So when you came into the vision of what was happening in front of you, you accepted it, opened yourself up to it. Keith followed you
Mm,
and did the same thing, and then you opened the door up for Doof and Ace.
yeah,
So you should give yourself a pat on the back and help that you helped these gentlemen out, that you gave them a chance to have someone to talk to. You made it easier for them to open themselves up to God instead of watching them struggle with it like maybe you have in your past and what I'm currently going through.
yeah.
So don't ever use the word ego when it comes to this channel. You accomplished a lot of this.
Thanks, brother. Very kind words. You're very kind.
So I mean, just remember that, the outside world that sees the outside of this, watching this, we see you advancing this more and more. So we giving you the credit for this. This channel wouldn't be here if you didn't open yourself up to people to trust you.
Amazing.
So you have to understand that.
Yeah, very kind words, brother. And I do see what you're saying. 100% I see what you're saying. I just think it's very important to be humble. I think it's very important that
You,
we
you are being humble. You don't understand. There are different ways of being humble.
yeah, yeah,
You're not being egotistical. You're not being big headed. You're not looking down on people. You're being humbled by the idea of opening your world up to other people to walk into and get the same help you got. That's another way of being humble.
yeah. And I mean that is what God truly wants for us is when we do find that if people are seeking it, we point them back to the Father. So it is definitely what
And
we're supposed to
you're
do.
definitely doing that. So give yourself a pat on the back for doing that.
I do appreciate that, my friend. Is very kind.
You're making it easy for a lot of people to come in here and have these conversations with you, not being judged, not being laughed at, not looking down upon. You know, you're giving them a chance to look at different things in a whole new perspective than what they're used to looking at. You're giving them a
Yeah.
chance to actually, you know, rethink decisions in their lives.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, brother, and I'm glad that you see because what you're saying is exactly what we want for people to see here. We want everybody to see that this is a place for everyone, that we can share all of these things going on inside of us without judgment from each other, with and that perfect love that we can give each other. So I'm glad that you see it. I mean, that's amazing. That is truly what we want for everyone here, and we don't want anybody to feel they're not welcome. We want everybody to feel welcome here because we don't have to agree. But the second that we hate somebody because we don't agree, we become murderer. We judge them and then we murder them. Spiritually, of course.
Well, yeah. I mean,
God says to hate somebody is to murder them, is why. That's in the Bible. So to hate is to murder. And so when we do that, we're killing them. And it's spiritual, it's metaphorical because what we're doing is when we hate them, we're spreading the hate and we're destroying their spirit. And when we love, they can see love, and then we can bring their spirit to life potentially. It's still in them. They have to overcome it themselves, but that's how the love is shared instead of the hate. So, and it's very important that we do that way people can see. Because like you said, I can tell you right now, people come in and just because they can see they're not judged, they're free to talk. They feel comfortable being in here. They probably get too comfortable sometimes. I think people probably get a little too comfortable and they get a little too far with saying stuff. I don't fight. I don't hold it back. I don't tell them not to. This is fellowship, man. This is a place where you should be able to bring all of whatever you have, your baggage, and be able to unload it and then have the fellow people around you guide you back to the Father or point you in that direction. That's why you're here. People don't show up here for no reason. They don't just come here and then go, well, don't preach to me. It's like, God, you know where you're at. Like they come here for a reason. They're all searching for that something. And just like I think, like I said, you're here still. You come in all the time. You see what we're doing. You didn't back away from the channel or leave us when the transition happened. So I think that that speaks volumes about you as well, and the change that's going on in your heart. Whether you see it as much the same thing is going on in you, and who knows? It could be because God can change your heart in the twinkling of an eye. This conversation right here, you can go, and it won't happen from me right now. I'm telling you, but you can go and sit with God afterwards and let Him reveal to you. And man, it could be right now tonight that that change can happen. You just never know. So we can't have an expectation what that's going to have for you or what that's going to be like for you. But I do know that you're here, you're talking about this stuff, and so something in you is guiding you to this. And it's beyond just you because you could easily just go and play video games and go to another channel and find new people and move on, and it would be no different. But you're still here, you're still involved, and that so like I said, that's God working with you. Just don't have an expectation and don't think that if you don't do it right this second, then you're not going to do it ever. That's that same thing. It's like most people get that like, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna do it right now, and so, it'll never happen." But instead, we should just look at it and just say, "Hey, it will happen when it happens, if it happens, and I'm just gonna let it do whatever it's gonna do." Not try and force it. It's the ones that try and force it that end up finding hate instead of love.
Yeah, I guess I look at it as that, like I said, I never judged anybody for their religion or their beliefs. You're just a human being to me,
Yeah.
and I guess that's why when I was like, I didn't run when you decided that this, or you didn't decide this is the direction this channel went from video games to this. That's why I didn't leave. It's like it's not a personal grudge. Ain't like you stopped talking to the guys you played video games with, and you became this different person. You don't talk to these people anymore. It was one of those. We all just said, okay, we're going to sit around and shoot the crap about these things, and we'll still talk about video games, or we'll end up finding each other on the PlayStation playing NASCAR offline. It ain't like we ignore each other. So it ain't like you blew everybody off to do this channel.
Yeah.
It's one of those. It was just an easy transition for everybody just to go, okay, so enough of the video games. We got to get into this
Well, I can tell
fellowship.
some people don't feel that way.
Yeah, I understand that. I lost a lot of friends when I left the Xbox world. I'm telling you now,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was that was interesting. Especially one of the YouTube channels I helped start with DayZ on Xbox. I'm no longer part of that channel, and I'm blocked from that channel because I'm no longer an Xbox person.
What the heck, man? The anger of why would
The
they
the anger went through that channel so fast. I'm blocked off their Discord, and that yeah, it was a little saddening. It pissed me off a little bit.
just
Then
because
I and I
PlayStation?
and I guess this is where I grew up a little bit. I just looked at it and said, okay, you know what? It is what it is. I'll move on. I'll figure out someplace new to hang out. I'll find that something else. I always will. And
Yeah.
that's where the NASCAR came into effect. I think that's where I'm thinking, okay, these guys are playing NASCAR. These guys are sitting around not taking this game seriously. We're just going to race around this track and play crash derby at 200 miles an hour, and we're all going to laugh at each other for it because we can't keep our cars on the track, you know. And I'm sitting there going, okay, this is what I want: peace of mind, just to relax, to have a good laugh, and it's been like that. And this channel is even with the converting over, is still that way, just not in the video game world.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I didn't see any place reason to run away from this channel, from you doing what you're doing. You're doing what you're doing. You're doing what's comfortable for you.
Um,
Who am I to judge you for that?
yeah.
It's my job to judge. So,
Think a lot of people they don't like it, they don't want that, and because of that change, that they refuse to, even though we were friends, right? We would or consider ourselves friends, right? Even though I know it's an online community, but a lot of people, just because they reject that, they're rejecting God, and so they just reject being a part of it, and that's in them. I can't be upset about that with them either. I always say, forgive them, Father, they don't know what they do. It's not like I love them just the same. There's no difference in that, except I just see that, they're not ready for that, or whatever the case is with them, but it's just fine. It's something that we have to deal with, just like you said. If I let that stop me too, imagine the people that wouldn't, have overcome just with what we've done since we've started the fellowship. We can't let stuff like that hold us back in life.
And I guess that's what amazes me to this day is the childish that some people carry with them when
Mm,
something changes.
yeah.
You know, I left the Xbox world because I needed something different in my life because Xbox just wasn't cutting it anymore. And I went over and I researched PlayStation before I bought. I said, okay. And then got into it and got into NASCAR and got watching you guys playing Daisy again and, Armor Refuser and, everything else and bullshitting with you guys. And then becoming part of the community a little bit through NASCAR and things like that. And then when you did this conversion, thinking, okay, this is that nothing's changing. It's just we're moving on to other territories on the internet. So it was an easy transition to watch this happen and not miss a beat about anything. I'm still playing NASCAR. I'm still, you know, playing video games, still bullshitting with some people on there. But yeah, just losing that Xbox community got underneath my skin a little bit there for a while. And it was just a little rough for me at first, thinking, okay, you guys are really just shutting me out like that because I went over to PlayStation. That's just not right.
It doesn't even make sense.
3.5 years.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense. I
Yeah,
couldn't,
3.5 years
yeah,
of
I
helping
couldn't
them
just not,
develop a channel for DayZ.
yeah, that's so crazy. I couldn't imagine just not liking somebody because they chose a different video game.
Yeah.
That there are some deep, deep issues in people who have anger over things like that. It's one thing to get angry when someone cusses you out, right? It's like if someone's being mean or hateful to you, or then it's one thing. At least then you can say, "Hey, I just couldn't see that that wasn't." But this is nothing. This is like literally nothing, and you weren't even trying to not be their friends. You just were moving to a different, and they're lost, man. That is so
And
deep.
it's one of those, I don't even know if I think a lot of people can't handle change.
Yeah,
I don't think I can't be mad at people for not being able to handle change. It's just a lot of people never got to learn how to adapt to change. And it throws their whole world off when they have this way of gotten used to this rhythm of everything. And when you put that ripple into it, it just kind of throws them off. And I guess I put that big ripple into Xbox and it threw them off and they basically threw me off the island. So it was one of those,
a big part of it then, dude.
huh?
You must have been a big part of it then?
Well, when the DayZ hit Xbox, we bought it day one. And we developed a channel. I helped him develop a channel and got people in there. We was running. I never took credit for the channel. I was always in there playing. We was running with maybe 150 people a day on DayZ on Xbox,
Mhm.
and we always ran in big groups on DayZ on one certain in Chernarus, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we became basically brothers on that channel. And when I had to the point where it was time for me to do something different, that's when everything came to a sudden crash and halt. And yeah, I still try to message the guys that I played with, and I don't get responses back from them at all.
Shame.
So it is what it is. But and I just sit back and I just think about it. And if you act like this online on a video game world, what are you like in person?
Imagine what the real world is like, and you know what? Hopefully, that's showing you that they never really cared about you.
And
That
I never expected them to. It's just an online community. I didn't expect to go and all of a sudden all of us meet up at a hotel room and hang out and bullshit and become closer friends like some of these online communities do. It was never an expectation for that, but it was at the same time going, okay, we're all grown ass adults. Let's act like one.
yeah, no, they can't. No, it's something inside of people, especially, you know, you get that with video games. Unfortunately, not everybody's an adult that plays, and so even though they're of age, they're still not adults. So a lot of times you're going to get that immaturity and that child mentality in that world, and so we must see that also and not let that affect us as well, because there's a lot of adults that are just big giant babies in there.
Yeah, and I guess that just bothers me sometimes. I'm going, okay, people, it's just a video game. We can move on from this.
Mm.
There's other cross platform video games we can play. It doesn't have to be DayZ.
Yeah. It's so amazing too that we keep getting back to this same thing since tonight's the topic of defending ourselves. It's like it just keeps circling right back around to that. And it's like that's the same thing. Whenever someone is judging you now for changing platform, we feel like, hey man, I got to defend myself about it because like I didn't do anything wrong, you know? But instead we gotta see that there is nothing to defend ourselves about when we do those kind of things. We didn't do anything wrong.
And I didn't even defend myself. I didn't even argue with them. I just left a goodbye message. Thanks
Nice.
for the fun times, and I just walked away.
That's
And
amazing.
as much as I wanted to say something, I'm going, you know what? I am not sinking myself down to the low level right now. These guys have to eventually get over it. They'll eventually message me. They'll eventually just get over themselves.
If
And
not,
if not, it is what it is. It isn't like we related. It ain't like we was close blood friends, hang out all the time
yep.
outside the video game world. So there was no expectation there, but it was at the same time, it was like, holy shit, people, really? It was like 3 years of us playing video games together. Come on now.
Yep, and this is
And
why
this is why.
I've dropped like that, putting that label of friends on people, even though we still use it, still call people my friend, and but I never put that expectation on people anymore. I don't have friends, not like that anymore. I have people that are in my life and people that aren't in my life, and they come and they go, and it's perfectly fine. But whenever you put that label of friend on somebody, as soon as they do something that's not friend like, man, you hate them for it. And I don't ever want to feel anything to any or have any expectation of anybody. That's the thing. You put that expectation like you expect them to be nice to you, you expect them to be your friend through all of this. You expect them, and then when they don't, it's setting yourself up. So that's just another one of those dropping expectation of people so that way they can never hurt you.
And it was one of those that didn't like hurt me emotionally that they didn't want to talk to me anymore. It was more of it hurt me as they didn't want to be adults about this anymore.
Yeah.
It was what it was. It was like, okay, guys, I can get the idea that, we can't play the same video games anymore. I get it. But holy crap, you guys, we can still talk. We can still shoot the shit with each other.
Now people can't
People can't
when they don't agree.
don't agree.
And
Yeah, and that's where it's at. And I'll go to that channel and see them playing, and they'll mention me once in a great while on that channel, and I'll still just sit there and just shake my head because I'll never comment on the channel. I'll just sit there back and watch.
yeah.
And but yeah, and I just said like, you people need to grow up at some point in your life and understand it, you know. And I said, and the same people who got mad at me are the same people who are playing Xbox and PC DayZ, and they don't expect people to get mad at them when they kick over to the PC version of DayZ and playing it, and when nobody else can join them. I'm going, why? They said, I didn't go get mad at you with playing the PC version. Why the hell are you getting mad at me if I played PlayStation version? What the hell? Get over yourselves, people.
What is that war between Xbox and PlayStation that goes on? That hate that brewed between those two things is wild, man. People hate each other for anything, won't they?
I'm telling you, and and it was one of those. I still own my PS2 and my PS3 before I bought the PS5, and I've owned an Xbox 360 and an Xbox Series X before I bought the Xbox One X. And I'm going, okay, I don't understand what the conversion is. We each have our own individual titles. You know, I said, I don't get it. Xbox has, Halo. PlayStation's got, God of War. What? As I said, it is what it is. It ain't no different. I said, in the world of play video games, I always believe that they should make more cross-platform games so everybody can join the same servers and go and enjoy each other and have fun with each other. But yeah, the whole idea is completely insane.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the whole way of the world. You know, people just hate, man. People are so into hate now. They've dropped love and they've taken hate and then they call it love. That's the crazy part is they hate each other and love. They go around telling and then they gossip about each other. They talk bad about each other. They expect things out of each other. All these things that is not love, but everybody calls it love.
So yeah, and I was sitting here and told myself, I said, I thought about buying Daisy on the PS5 and starting a whole new channel. But yeah, I'm thinking, you know what? I may leave Daisy alone for a while. I am and just
Yeah.
you know
Daisy's one of the worst communities to stream on.
they're
They
the most
are
toxic people in the world.
haters. Yeah. They are such haters. That and GTA 5 is another one that there's a lot of hate on there.
Oh yeah, wait till 6 drops. It's gonna be even worse.
Yeah, no, I don't understand that. Why do people I don't know. I even was doing that at sometimes. And I'm sure if you go back and look on you'll see I would fall into that. It's so easy when someone comes at you and gives hate, it's so easy to fall right and give it back. And then next thing you know, you're in the little chat box in there talking back and forth, like F you, F your, it was like, I mean, we are so come back and forth instead of just no reaction to it. Much better now when someone with me and I don't say anything at all. You can tell that it's even more powerful than saying something back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's why I just sit back and be quiet now. I just let the world up and around me. It's like I was playing NASCAR the other day online on a random server that was picked, and the trash talking that was happening in there was just unreal.
Oh, on NASCAR too. I know what is going on in that place sometimes.
I went and I'm sitting racing and I'm in 20th spot and everybody's talking just talking all kinds of shit. I'm going, really, people, just race. You
Yeah.
know, trash
Yeah.
talk after the race is over.
In there, it's a silly place, man. You see it. I'm sure you've been in here. People come in here and they get. I wonder
Oh,
how going to a church ever act like the way people act here in chat.
yeah. And I just shake my head. There was no more I can do anymore. It was like, whatever, you guys do what you got to do. If it makes you feel happy, if it helps you sleep at night, makes you feel like the bigger person.
Wow, this is deep. Age, my best friend of 26 years passed last July. He and I were brothers in Christ and enjoyed gaming. Since his loss, I have quit gaming completely. I ask God often what he would like me to do instead. Brother AJ, man, that's deep, my friend. That is very deep. So far, I've joined and left 3 churches. I am kind of losing hope. Brother, you're right here, man. Stay here, AJ. I know that sometimes things get tough and sometimes that, those thoughts they'll get to you. But dude, you've been here and you've stayed here and I've seen you overcome, AJ. So you're doing the right thing already, man. Stop trying to think that there's something else you need to do and just do whatever it is you're doing, man. Let go of thinking that you're doing anything wrong and just go through it. Have no expectation what it's going to be, AJ, just like what me and Brian were talking about here. But I can tell you that what you're going through um is necessary. You need to sit in it, see what it is, so that way you can overcome it. Don't try and get out of that. That way it comes back and gets you again later on, man. It sounds to me like you are you're here. I can see that you're here. And so you're at least taking those right steps, AJ. So man, that's deep. I know that I haven't lost any friends from gaming, but I do know that one of my best friends that I grew up with, we hung out from basically the time we were 15 years old until I don't know, probably early 30s or close to 30. And like our wives, we hung out, of course, my ex-wife now, but we were so close. Like our kids grew up together. We were over there all the time. Every week we spent together. And we were best friends. He was my best friend. And then we fell apart though. And he went his own way and I went my own way. And then sometime later he passed too. And so now I sit back and I look at that. I don't really have any feeling about it that way, but I definitely we went through a lot together. And so even though at the time it's very deep to think that someone close with is now gone from this planet, and you can never talk to him again. And someone that was that close to you that for that long a time, I mean, so I understand. I understand completely. Brian, you had to deal with something like that?
Uh, no, I guess I haven't had a friend that was 26 years losing it, and then everything that he's going through.
Yeah,
But sometimes churches may not be the best place to go to help you cope with that.
yeah,
Maybe it's just a random friend somewhere to talk to could help you do that. And maybe just out of hunch, maybe go back and play that video game one more time for closure just to kind of end the story the way you need to end it. Maybe to help you kind of close that book and rest that in peace a little bit better than what you're coping with. Maybe you just need to sit back and either go back and play that game a little longer just to give that closure, just to remember the good times you guys had,
yeah,
and then just talk to somebody. Maybe stay out of the churches for a little bit. Maybe not use religion for a resource. Maybe just talk to people.
yeah,
Let somebody's ear be your religion. Let them help you.
yeah,
Maybe you need that one odd shoulder and they'll help you get through it all. It's it could be the simplest things as that. Just always remember the positives that you guys had together playing video games
yeah,
and never shut that off. Never forget it. And maybe one day you'll get back into the video game world, AJ, and you never know.
yeah.
And you'll find that new person to play games with, and you'll get that connection again with somebody else. But
Man,
yeah,
amazing. Very, 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 very beautiful. Yeah, and you know what, too? Even if you don't play the game, that either. I say whatever it is, have no expectation. Just like I said, AJ, and um, if the church isn't right, like, you can't make a church right. Going to a church, right church. So if you go, but to think that you're losing hope, I can't. You're coming. You're still, you know, fellowshipping. So you're talking about God. You're thinking God in the right direction. See that if and of course, I'll have your friend. If you guys are brothers in Christ and he returned to the Father, I mean, dude, that's absolutely amazing. Everlasting is amazing, and he's with the Father now, and so you really have nothing to fear except for the fact that you don't have him. That is inside of that selfishness where we don't want to ever let go because we want them for ourselves. So it is difficult, but that just just don't even think about it, man. If you will, just know that whatever it is, you're going to overcome it, and it'll be fine. And lose hope. You know what? Lose hope because hope is making you hope is making you think you have to change, something has to change. And if you just lose it, nothing has to change. And you went through the rest of your life just like this, it's okay, man.
buddy.
That so go ahead and lose the hope, brother. Well, actually, that's a fellowship we're gonna have. Should you even have hope? So that's gonna be deep, AJ. I hope you're there for that, man. Let's see. So no red five really were his can't really do game anymore. He was the only reason I played, but thanks for the suggestion. Oh, I see. Whatever it is, man. Just go through it, HA. You're already doing it. So, and it is true. You never know what's gonna happen. So when it does happen, if it does come up and someone wants to come and you want to play games, or someone else comes along and says, "Hey, let's play something," if you don't think about the reason you're not playing and you just go through it, it could be a beautiful thing too. So like I said, you just whatever happens that comes to you, man, you just go through it without thinking about it, and without overreacting to it, because sometimes the things that we're given aren't the things that we think we're going to get given. So, for instance, whenever you see something happen, you think that it's going to be, oh, you get this lesson because that person is good, or that person had a good spirit, or they have these great teachings, right? Now I realize that so many of my teachings come from seeing people doing the wrong thing as well. Even more now, probably, than the right thing is I see people, you know, being hateful or being angry, and giving me that ability to see it, man. And now I can just say, "Hey, forgive them, Father." You know, no resentment towards them at all. Um, again, like I said, you're still here. You're in fellowship. I know that, and you may not consider this church. Whenever we're sitting here talking about this church, brother, and you're part of it, you are in the congregation, my friend. So,
All right, dudes, just let you know you're cutting in and out.
okay, every second. How are we doing? We still cutting out?
Keep talking.
We still cutting out? We doing good? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, you're good now. You're just a little staticky, but nothing bad though.
It might straighten out, but yeah, we'll probably wrap this up. I'm sure you're probably getting tired. How you feeling? You got anything else?
I, I've had a long day. I have to probably get me some sleep at some point here today.
And I appreciate you coming on. You're doing amazing. I had no idea that we were gonna come here and have this amazing conversation tonight. That's another one
Well,
I say don't
you
have
know,
because
like you said, I've been on this channel for how long, and I've not yet spoken to anybody.
that's so cool, man. Well, thank you very much, brother. Absolutely amazing. And thank you for, just talking about this stuff and putting yourself out there because I know from my personal experience that it's hard to talk about this stuff sometimes and it's embarrassing and, having to go through seeing what other people are going to think about you. So know that when you did that, man, you overcame some huge things.
And I don't think it was the idea of being embarrassing for me. It's the idea that I'm the only child. I had to rely on myself to do things. So it was never, I had a
Right.
someone to depend on to be there if I needed the help. You know what I mean?
The case is for you personally. I'm just saying a lot of times it would be embarrassment for a lot of people. I think that's what they feel when they don't want to come on and put their face on camera and talk about these kind of things. But whatever it was for you, either way, you're here, you overcame it. You're not feeling anything about it. Hopefully you feel better about it and everything. And I mean, dude, we'd love to have you back and maybe come to the round table sometime and chat with all of us so that we all get those different perspectives. And then of course not only knowing what you might get too, but truly just what you have to offer for the rest of us. So,
And Red Dead Redemption 2, man, I missed that game.
yeah, that
I
was a
love.
yeah. And also too, again, like I said, your wife, if she would like to come on here, man, it would be absolutely amazing to talk to her and just to see what she's gone through and, her faith and beliefs and stuff. And with you, of course, if you want to be here, and with my wife too. My wife would come on and chat with us too if you guys
If
wanted
you guys want to, I have to discuss it with her, see how she feels about it.
whatsoever. It's up to her if she can. So there's zero pressure.
But yeah, I think I'm going to get off here, head to bed.
Cool. Well, have a great night, Brian. Man. Thank you so
Yep.
much. Appreciate you, brother.
Yep. Peace
God
out.
bless. Have a good night. Nice, AJ. I had a ninja hack for GTA that I loved. Oh, what's that? Tell me what ninja hack is. I'm gonna use the restroom, but I'm still listening. I'm still reading your chat here. Just gonna shut the camera. Whoops, wrong one. I'm just gonna shut the camera off here. There we go. What's a ninja hack? I don't know what that is. Did you become a ninja or what? Oh, okay. It's like a mod. I get what you're saying now. I think I've seen those before on some different on different platforms. What did you play on PC or something? Yeah, I haven't really seen any mods on the PlayStation stuff, but I've seen a lot of awesome mods on PC. And I'm not sure if you watch like I don't know if you've ever seen like Space Boy, but they do like role play GTA stuff, and that's really funny too. I always really liked that. I actually wanted to, if I would have had a PC, I probably would have started role playing GTA because that's what we did on GTA when I first started the channel. Is we would role play in public servers on PS5, and the interactions on there are so hilarious because you can't really talk to people, so it's all just random. And then when something falls in, which you see if you go back and look at some of the GTA videos, you'll see how we did it. But like when things pan out, because we would always be police officers, so we role played as police, pulling people over, and arresting them or whatever the case or fighting with or whatever. So, but it would just always be so random, and I would be talking, but they wouldn't hear me. But like their actions would play right into what I was talking about. And it was just so funny, and it just made for so many great videos and shorts and clips. So it was because, like I said, the channel was a lot about just making funny content before with friends, like what Brian was saying. That's where we started. So. Yeah, nice guys. What's up, baby? Been hanging down here with my mom's pets in her little condo here because uh, she's in the hospital. Mom spent Mother's Day in the hospital, so that's just the way it goes. Nice. Absolutely amazing, you guys. I never know what's gonna happen. Just like Brian showing up tonight and wanting to come on here. I mean, I I can tell you right now, I had plans for something totally different. But again, and God has been doing this a lot to me lately. He has been showing me that I need to stop planning for anything because he keeps changing every single thing that I think is going to happen. He keeps changing it. And so he's trying to show me. I have a fondness for Viva La Dirtly. Oh, yeah, I watch those guys too. Yeah, they're hilarious, man. They've been around for a long time now. I think they've been around 10, 12 years, something like that. A lot, maybe close to 10, something like that. But yeah, no, they are really funny. I think they're oh, New Zealand. I think they're from New Zealand or something like that, if I remember right, AJ. Very cool. Very cool. Well, I can tell you, brother, I'm glad you're here, man. I don't care whatever, goes on, or, I think our conversations are amazing and very deep. But no matter what happens or what goes on, man, I'm just glad you're here, brother. And I can tell you, like I say, man, just the fact that you're here is showing that you're working on yourself, that you are trying to overcome whatever's going on. So I'm fairly old. They are Aussies. Oh, they're Aussies. Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought they were from New Zealand. Okay, nice. Doof is an Aussie too. I don't know if you saw him earlier in here too, but he's an amazing guy. Another amazing friend who's also overcoming, and he's really doing an amazing thing. He sees. And it truly is, man. We have to see so that way we know, so that way we can overcome. So it's really deep stuff, man. And Brian, was really cool to talk to him. To be honest with you, he has never come to me like I was talking about him earlier. He's never come to me like asking for any, advice or help or anything spiritual or anything like that. So even though he's overheard me talking about it with other people, I've never talked to him about it. This is really the first time that we have discussed it personally so much. Other than maybe him just making a comment when we're in conversation on NASCAR or something. But yeah, this is the first time that we've had a kind of a deep conversation about that. And so that's amazing. And I can see that Brian was I mean, almost identical to how I was my whole life with religion. Just like it wasn't for me, I never felt I had a place. I never went to a church and felt connected. I never felt God and it's because I had this expectation that it was supposed to be this amazing emotional thing from what I had seen from everybody else, everybody raising holy hands and rejoicing and singing out and crying and all these feelings and emotions. And man, I never had it. I don't know why, but I thought for sure it was me. I thought that something was wrong with me. And what it did was it ended up leading me down that road of all of that garbage, hate, anger, drugs, drug abuse, lust, womanizing, I was becoming a slut maker, all of that. And I was deep involved in it. And had I seen before that the reason I didn't feel something was because Satan was because I was identifying with Satan at the time. I was identifying with thoughts. The thought was that I needed to feel something. And this is exactly like what we talk about. If we think we need to feel something, you guys, we'll end up not going. We'll end up thinking that it's not for us because we're not feeling it. We must know that we cannot expect to feel anything. Zero. And that way, whatever happens, there's no expectation. It'll be perfect. You will never doubt your faith. You'll never doubt what happened because you didn't have an expectation that something else was going to happen. And I think that a lot of people do that, and especially when it comes to religion, people think that if miracles aren't happening, they don't see the miracle. I can tell you right now, here's the miracle, you guys, and it happens in so many people, but nobody sees it because it's for them. Miracles are not for all. It is for the few that see. But the miracles that are happen is God shows you good and evil. God reveals to you truth. God, when He reveals to you that Holy Spirit on the inside, man, it is an absolute miracle. It is um, the closest you can get to being one with God, right there, sitting next to Him. Um, and it's amazing. And so I always talk about it because what I've experienced, I want you guys to know that you guys can go through the same thing. And I want you guys to see that you don't have to be affected by words, that you don't have to be held back by depression, anxiety, fear, guilt, loneliness, lust, greed, you name it. You don't have to be controlled by those. If you can see, and just like I was telling Brian, and this is and this is so important that when you put that space in between you and thoughts, that's that space where God can come and God can show you everything you need to know in there. But when you have that space and you fill it with all this other stuff, um, you know, knowledge and intelligence and all of these identities that you have, pride and ego and all this stuff, right? You have all these identities. When you fill that gap with that, God can't fit in there. He cannot come in that space between, you know, what you're doing and the truth here. So you have to leave that space for God in between. Can't fill that space up, you guys. We must leave it for Him so He can come and show us. Thoughts control everything over here. We're all lost in thought constantly. But we must leave that space for God. We think that that space has to be filled. When you separate yourself from thought, the first thing you think of is, well, who am I going to be? So when you think, who am I going to be? You think, okay, now I need to be somebody else. So I'm going to fill this space with all this knowledge. Now I'm going to go learn and read all this stuff and fill this space. Instead, you don't have to fill this space, you guys. You can leave that space empty for God, and He can fill it for you. And then once He fills that space, it's going to blow your mind where He's going to take you and what'll happen. I mean, He's going to take you to the highest highs. You're going to be on the peak of the mountain with Him. You are going to be in the kingdom of heaven with Him. You are going to be on the 100th floor in the penthouse with God, you guys. Let's see. Common mistake, just error on the NZ side as you did. And Aussie will still buy you a beer if you call him. New Zealand. Oh, okay. Cool, cool, cool. I just thought for some reason. Yeah, I mean, I know that the accents, I mean, I think are fairly close. I think they're connected, right? Or is New Zealand an island? Maybe New Zealand's an island off of Australia. Either way. Yeah. Amazing. Well, that's good to know. I would never assume something if I was talking to them directly. And the only reason I thought that was because I could have swore I heard it on one of their videos or something. Maybe they're just talking about the New Zealand ball team or something, though, not that they were actually from there. Nice. But absolutely amazing, folks. I'm telling you. So tomorrow, I think we're going to try and have a little round table. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to try and set it up. I'm going to put up, a little bit of, I'll put up a link or a post about it on YouTube, see if anybody wants to come. So AJ, dude, if you want to come to the round table, come join on the Discord, man. We'd love to have you. You don't even have to put your face on there. It's a video call or whatever we do in Discord, but you don't have to put your face. You can just be in there and discuss with us if you want. Anyway, it's just nice to be able to actually speak and talk and communicate without texting, because I know how much I know you guys want to say a lot more than you do, and you can't because of how difficult it is to text. So doing this in person, it gives you guys the opportunity, and it gives me the opportunity to step back a little bit and let you guys kind of have more of a moment in this fellowship. So I went down the mental illness rabbit hole. I encountered a voice in my mind. It was not holy. It did not pass the test. Doctors called it a psychotic break, played the meds game. Fasting and prayer worked. Man, that was Satan, brother. I don't know about the rest of it, what the doctors or any of that stuff. I'm no doctor, so I don't want to try and come in between a medical condition. But I can tell you that voice was Satan, brother. 100%. It was indeed Satan. Okay, so before I go, though, I want to leave you guys with a little something here. You guys, Romans 8 today. Romans 8 was absolutely amazing. It is so deep, you guys. I don't know if y'all have read Romans 8, but I just want to read a couple of passages from it because, man, today is just, like I said, it's been an amazing day. It's been so deep, and this was a big part of it. And I was going to tell you guys too. Oh, I had a couple stories I was going to tell you about, but one of them was that today this is very, very deep, and a lot of people probably won't even understand this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So after I was having a little conversation with David, we were talking in Discord and everything. I always like to. I don't do it and tell people about it, right? But I always seek the truth. And sometimes, so I'll go and we talk about things, and then I'll do a little research on what we're talking about, so that way I can sit with it and just give it to God. And so, one of the topics, we're talking about thoughts a lot, right? And we disagree about some things. So then that's fine. It's totally fine. There's no problem with disagreement. But one of the things that I talk about is a thoughtless life is a perfect life. And so I looked it up. I just Googled it just to see what Google had to say about a thoughtless life being a perfect life. Well, what was very interesting is that it took me to a bunch of pages. Normally when I ask a biblical question or something like that, it's a whole bunch of Bible this, church that, like it's like all churches either Bible links or church links explaining, like going over it. But when I looked up a thoughtless life is a perfect life, it gave me a whole bunch of weird websites. It was all these names, none of them religious, nothing looked religious. Well, instantly, as soon as I looked it up, Satan popped in my head and said, "Look, don't trust this. It's not from God. This is not Christian. right? And this is all thoughts, man. I didn't know. I didn't even click the link yet. There's no way I could have known what it was. But from a name, not saying Bible or church, my my mind, which was Satan controlling it, instantly tried to convince me that that was evil, that I was going to be succumbing to evil if I went in there and looked at that. And I thought, man, this is deep right now. What was happening? Because I saw it. So I caught it, right? I'm catching these thoughts in real time. As soon as the thought happened, I saw it. And I said, no, I'm going to click on one of these links because I'm not going to listen to the thoughts, right? I'm going to go through this. I need to go through this. Well, I just went down to a random one and it was something weird like Corora or something like that. It was a really weird name. And I thought the weirder the better right now because I'm going through this moment, right? And earlier in the day, I was already having this existential moment with a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm already going through a lot. So I click on this link and I'm going to tell you right now, this link had a verbatim the truth of exactly what we talk about here in this fellowship and with my other fellowship that we go to on Sundays, Bond. It was in alignment. And I'm not saying I like close, I'm saying identical. It was verbatim the word that I speak in here. And it absolutely blew my mind. And had I not overcome the thought that it was something else or not from God or any of that garbage, I would have missed it. And I would have missed God showing me that moment right there. He said, look, the truth is out there, you guys. The truth is the truth is the truth. A website doesn't change the truth. A name doesn't change the truth. How people perceive what you say doesn't change the truth. The truth is the truth. And when this website had the truth, I didn't care if it was, as soon as I saw what it was, I dropped caring that it wasn't a religious, and it may have been. I didn't even look for it after that. I didn't have to. There was nothing I needed to be fulfilled other than I saw that truth there, you guys. And man, I'm gonna tell you, it was so deep and so revealing, and it just shows how we let our thoughts manipulate us to keep us away from the truth like that. If I would have listened to the thought, I would have never seen that moment that God was going to reveal to me. So I just suggest you guys stop thinking that we know what's going on. Stop thinking that we are in control and give it to God and let Him show you, man. You never know what you're going to find. Even if I had clicked on that and I saw something that didn't align with my beliefs, I would have been able to see that it was not in alignment. And then I could have discerned that. And that also would have been a gift from God. Either way. But what happened was just, I mean, it was too deep. So it was absolutely amazing. So, anyway, so after that, again, I'm having this day, right? This day has just been over and over, very deep and very out of thought, but into wisdom, if you know what I'm saying. So, again, this is also deep, man. I came back to YouTube and I was like, okay, all this happened. Now I'm going to go back to YouTube and just start going through my little ministries and my fellowships. And I go and I, that's where I go to either get the truth or to see if people are lying. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. I get, God gives me whatever I'm going to get from there. So, but it was a lady. Now I can tell you that when it comes to preaching and church and all that stuff, I don't go to women. I don't believe that women were created to lead men to the Father. If they can't lead themselves, although I think God could possibly work through them. I think if men are seeking that from a woman, they're they're gonna end up hurting that woman too because they'll drag the woman down with them. But anyway, either way, I just normally don't do it is the point. I normally save that listening to the word of God from a man because the order of God. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, woman over child. So I believe in that order. And so I believe that men don't get their spiritual guidance from women. However, God told me, He was right there again, man. He said, hey, what are you doing? Stop thinking that you know anything at all. To Lucas, he says, stop thinking that you know anything at all and go in there and listen for 2 seconds. And I was like, okay. And this is so wild, man. This is so deep. He didn't really say any of that. I could just see the thoughts, though. Satan was telling me not to go in there, is what I mean to say. God never talks to me, just so you know, guys. I didn't mean to say that. What I meant to say is that Satan was telling me not to go in there. And so I knew that God wanted me to go through that. God wanted me to not listen to those thoughts and go through it. So guess what? I went in there and this lady was saying something. I didn't even know what she was reading from, but I do know that what she said was very deep and very meaningful. And so I just went and I looked it up. And sure enough, what she was talking about was from Romans 8. And let me change this over to King James real quick. I just want to read a couple of passages from this because, man, so good, you guys. Not only is it so good, but it directly correlates with what we were talking about, man. You guys, once you give to God everything, I'm telling you, it's going to blow your mind the things that he does for you. You know what? Let's just read it. Let's see. Therefore, there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus, because through Christ Jesus, the law of the Spirit who gives life has set you free from the law of sin and death. For what the law was powerless to do because it was weakened by the flesh, God did by sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh to be a sin offering. And so he condemned sin in the flesh in order that the righteous requirement of the law might be fully met in us, who do not live according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. Those who live according to the flesh have their mind set on what the flesh desires, but those who live in accordance with the Spirit have their mind set on what the Spirit desires. The mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace. The mind governed by the flesh is hostile to God. It does not submit to God's law, nor can it do so. Those who are in the realm of flesh cannot please God. And I'm sure you guys heard me tell you this many times. When you are of the flesh, you are dead. You do not have your life. You do not become alive until you are born again in the Spirit of the Father. And it says right here that the mind governed by the flesh is death. You're not living when you're controlled by the flesh. So let's see. You, however, are not in the realm of flesh, but are in the realm of spirit. We're not in the realm of flesh anymore, you guys. We are not the flesh. This is so deep, man. And it's exactly what we talk about. If indeed the Spirit of God lives in you, you are not in the flesh. If the Spirit of God lives in you, you are not your flesh anymore. And your flesh is where the sin is, not in you. And if anyone does not have the Spirit of Christ, they do not belong to Christ. But if Christ is in you, then even though your body is subject to death because of sin, the Spirit gives life because of righteousness. And if the Spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead is living in you, he who raised Christ from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies because of his Spirit who lives in you. Therefore, brothers and sisters, we have an obligation, but it is not to the flesh to live according to it. For if you live according to the flesh, you will die. But if by the Spirit you put to death the misdeeds of the body, you will live. For those who are led by the Spirit of God are the children of God. The Spirit you receive does not make you slaves so that you live in fear again. Rather, the Spirit you receive brought about your adoption to sonship. And by him we cry, Father. The Spirit himself testifies with our spirit that we are God's children. Now, if we are children, then we are heirs, heirs of God, and co heirs with Christ, if indeed we share in his sufferings, in order that we may also share in his glory. I mean, you guys, this is so deep. And then I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. You guys, you think you're suffering, but you are not suffering. Compared to the glory that's out there, you'll see there is no suffering. For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. For the creation was subjected to frustration, not by its own choice, but by the will of the one who subjected it, in hope that the creation itself will be liberated from its bondage to decay and brought into the freedom and glory of the children of God. We know that the whole creation has been groaning as in the pains of childbirth right up to the present time. Not only so, but we ourselves, who have the first fruits of the Spirit, groan inwardly as we wait eagerly for our adoption to sonship, the redemption of our bodies. For in this hope we were saved. But hope that is seen is no hope at all. Who hopes for what they already have? But if we hope for what we do not yet have, we wait for it patiently. In the same way, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. And He who searches our hearts knows the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes of God's people in accordance with the will of God. You guys, this is so deep. We don't know what to pray for, and I'm if you guys have been here for any time at all, you've heard me say this. This is why we do the silent prayer. You wouldn't know what to pray for, even if you think you know what to pray for, you don't. We don't know what to pray for. We would pray for you know, we pray, you guys know what people pray for, earthly possessions, material things. That's what people pray for. But and so and the Holy Spirit intercedes for us through wordless groans, you guys, not through words, not through saying stuff. If you guys think that you're hearing words in your head, the Holy Spirit teaches you through wordless groans. It's discern. Um, it is. Gosh, now my mind is drawing a blank. It's a voiceless voice. It is revelation. Sorry, it took me forever to get back to revelation. It's revelation inside of us. It's not words, you guys. And He who searches our hearts knows the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for God's people in accordance with the will of God. So if you just seek in your heart the knowledge of Christ, that all things through God are possible, then the Holy Spirit comes in and prays for you, you guys, in accordance with the will of God. You don't even have to do it yourself. Your Holy Spirit within will do it for you. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. For those God foreknew, He also predestined to be conformed to the image of His Son, that He might be the firstborn among many brothers and sisters. And those He predestined, He also called those He called. He also justified those He justified. He also glorified. I mean, this is, you guys, this is so, so deep. Um, you guys, we are brothers and sisters of Christ. Right. For those God foreknew, He also predestined to be conformed to the image of His Son, that He might be the firstborn among many brothers and sisters. He is the firstborn to change all of our hearts. You guys, we are brothers and sisters of Jesus Christ, and we must be Christ-like and follow Christ. I mean, oh my goodness, I just can't tell you, man. This hits so at home. And I mean, again, I know these teachings. I had no idea that they were all in Romans 8 like this. So let's see, Romans 8:31 says, "What then shall we say in response to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all, how will he not also, along with him, graciously give us all things? Who will bring any charge against those whom God has chosen, whose God has chosen? It is God who justifies. Who then is the one who condemns? No one. Christ Jesus, who died, more than that, who was raised to life, is at the right hand of God and is also interceding for us. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall trouble or hardship or persecution or famine or nakedness or danger or sword, as it is written? Oh, okay. So what is saying? Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Question. Shall trouble or hardship or persecution or famine or nakedness or danger or sword? Question mark. It's asking it, are any of those things going to be what separates us from Christ? So, and then it says, as is written, for your sake we face death all day long. We are considered as sheep to be slaughtered. No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through Him who loved us. For I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, neither height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Jesus Christ our Lord. Man, you guys, holy cow. That is absolutely one of the deepest chapters in a book that I have read yet. It is absolutely amazing and it is so deep. Nothing, not anything else at all of creation, and that means nothing. That means not Satan, you guys, will be able to separate you from the love of God when you walk with Jesus Christ, you guys. When you follow the teachings of Christ, nothing can separate you from God. That's it. You're with him forever. So, isn't that absolutely amazing, you guys? Man, so deep. Wow. So anyway, that's what we're going to leave it tonight with that amazing, amazing Romans 8 passage. I think that I don't know. To me, that was really deep and really big, and it came at the right, perfect moment. And this is why I don't force the Bible reading. This is why those Bible readings come to me, you guys. If you force this stuff, you're going to be trying to interpret it all, and instead, this was already interpreted to me from God. I already knew this to be true. And then I read it, and it's just like it solidifies it. And it's so deep, and it's so much better when you see it like this. You can't misinterpret it. You can't misinterpret the word when you came to the word already knowing it. I already knew it, man. I already knew everything that was in there, but I knew it through God's teaching, God's revelation, and it comes from somebody, it comes from talking to people and going to fellowship and all these things that I've done, but I never just take the word. I always take it, go and give to God and let God reveal to me. So again, and you hear me talk about these things on this channel because that's the specific things that we talk about is the things that have been revealed to me that I know is true. And if God changes that, because I'm always open to God doing whatever he's going to do through his will be done. Like I always say, God, just grant me the strength to overcome any situation and your will be done. And so that's what we want. We want his will to be done. And so it'll be done in here. Just like that, you guys. But anyways, absolutely amazing. So good, so deep. All those stories today just all coinciding and locking in with each other. And again, it's just confirmation, God showing us over and over again that if you're willing to look, he's willing to show you. So, but we must seek the truth. He's not just going to come and give it to you without you seeking it. We must seek and we must admit we're wrong and we must overcome these spirits, you guys. So, absolutely amazing, you guys. Nice. What a great night. Well, God bless you, AJ. I appreciate you hanging out here with us, the end of the evening, man. I see you retracted your messages, but it's all good, brother. Nothing but love. Man, Machado, like Adrian, I missed all kinds of people in here, so. Anima, Shadows Drawers, nice. Raccoon, Life is Hard, Women Are Strong. Nice, amazing, you guys. So, nice. Thank you, AJ. Thank you very much, brother. God bless you, man. I hope you, enjoyed that little passage from Romans there, that chapter. Like I said, Romans 8, man. So deep, brother. But amazing. All right. Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Again, AJ, if you want to come in and talk on the round table, man, join the Discord, AJ. The link is in the channel bio. Go in there. Come join the Discord. We hang out there and talk a lot, AJ. Maybe that'll help you find some peace, brother, if that's what you're seeking. I don't know if that is or not. I'm just saying if it is, it could help you find some. Who knows where we're gonna find it? But I'm gonna tell you right here, you're coming here with us, man, and I think it's amazing. So come on back, brother. All right, guys. You guys have a great night. Much love. Peace.